Welcome to the Pod Punk Show. All right, so you ready?
Ready for what, Aaron?
I got warheads.
Oh, we're going to do that right now before we actually start the show?
Yeah. Why not start? Like, we're going to do a brand new album, and it's a really depressing one. So, like, why not start the episode off by, like, ruining your mood?
You know when you see a movie and they, like, show, like, the drug dealer and he's inside his shitty apartment, he's wearing his wife beater, clearly it's hot out, he's got on, like, a fan, and he's counting the drugs, he's counting the money. Like, you've been doing that with warheads for, like, the past 20 minutes I've been watching you. You've been, like, taking them out, putting them into piles.
Yeah, separating by flavor.
Separating by flavor. So what do we got flavor here-wise? I guess we're going to do it beforehand. Yeah. I really don't want to do this, but...
Oh, you're doing this?
This is, like, it's not enjoyable at all.
Last week, I had to listen to an Under Oath album, like, 100 times, okay? Yeah, so you have to eat a warhead.
I don't think that's the equivalent, but all right.
No, you're getting off easy. All right.
Fuck you.
So watermelon?
I'm allergic.
You're allergic to watermelon?
Watermelon, strawberry, cantaloupe. Can't do it.
Are those three like the same genus or something? Like, it's a weird combination. Like watermelon and strawberry, I can understand. Like the seeds thing and it's a fruit, like that somehow like makes sense that they're like equal.
Yeah.
Cantaloupes like to me that's more of like one of your more mellow melons.
Hey man, I've never put myself in a situation where I can give you any feedback on it because I just have been told my entire life it will kill me.
Really?
Yep.
Maybe your mom just didn't want you to go to like any like fruit parties.
Yeah, maybe that, or maybe like watermelon was expensive one week, so they just told me I was allergic to it, so like we didn't have to buy it as groceries. Who knows?
Oh, is that what they actually also told you about, like math books and stuff?
It could be anything. Yeah, no, I mean that could be. Fuck you. All right, what do we got?
Come on.
What else? What do we got here?
All right, what do we got? So watermelon's off the table.
What color is watermelon?
Watermelon looks like to be like what would you call that? A violet?
I'm gonna say that's dark pink.
Dark pink? Okay. Yeah. You also have to realize I'm red-green colorblind. So.
Inside of the vagina pink.
I never look inside. I always put something else in there.
I've never seen one, so I can't even really vouch on that.
Wait, are you a virgin or do you just prefer the dark, or are you like Orthodox Jewish and you have to use a sheet?
It's a sheet. Come on, Aaron.
Okay. By the way, I did pretty quickly get to all three options, didn't I?
You did. That was very good. It's almost like you planned it, but I know you didn't plan that. So
no. There's my Sherlock Holmes. Like, okay, there's only three ways you can have that wrinkle in your shirt.
Yeah, you're like Columbo there.
Apple. You want to do apple?
Color is the apple, though. Is it red or green?
It's green apple.
So it's sour apple. No, I don't want to do a fucking warhead and then follow it up with sour apple.
They're all going to be sour.
Apple. Well, no, like it's supposed to be sour followed by the sweet fruit of success.
So it could be like the sweet apple pie with like a little cinnamon in the middle, maybe?
That would be a red apple, though. Red delicious. That's green. That's Granny Smith. That's sour. No, pass.
Okay, lemon.
Again, that's like sadistic. Lemon is already nature's warhead. Why does that need to be also weaponized into a warhead candy?
Because it has a natural flavor component.
Right, but it's sour.
But think about it. It made it so much easier to make this warhead because it's like they just have to use just extra lemon.
They're getting lazy, and like also too, like how do you feel about lemon in like when you get like a Starburst or anything? It's like the throwaway flavor, right?
No, I love lemon.
Oh my god, you are so fucking
lemon pound
weird.
Cake. Oh, lemon pound cake from Starbucks with the icing.
When I was younger, if I could have Jane Goodall'd your ass and just like watched and observed you from afar, I would have done that. I have no idea how your fucking life
lemon pound cake.
Oh god, no.
You've never had lemon pound cake from Starbucks? It's fucking delicious.
Oh man, no.
You've never had it though.
No, I've had pound cake though. Lemon pound cake, no.
No, lemon pound cake is really good.
Oh my god, you're like 88. You're like an 88-year-old lady.
No, I'm a gentleman.
I'm gonna start calling you Estelle. All right, what else we got to sell?
Blue raspberry.
I have a problem with blue raspberry because it doesn't exist.
Well, not in nature.
Yeah, it's just raspberry, and they needed to make it blue because every other good flavor is that color of like red.
All right, and then the last one we got is black cherry.
Black cherry doesn't exist in nature.
It does.
Okay, black cherry exists in nature. I'll give you that.
Okay,
but blue raspberry doesn't.
Are you sure about this?
I'm gonna do blue raspberry.
You're gonna do blue raspberry? Here you go.
What are you doing? You're gonna do lemon, you motherfucker.
Okay, I'll do lemon. I ain't no bitch. I'll do two at once. I don't give a shit. You know what I don't do? Don't back down.
All right, so we are opening the warheads. I would hate if mine accidentally fell to the floor, and we're trying to get like the noise of the wrapper opening, but they're so tightly sealed because this is
like plastic too.
Oh my god, I can smell the sour. It doesn't have a smell. It's like
an omen.
you know when you get to a pool and it's over chlorinized and it just doesn't feel right. Chlorinized.
No, chlorinized is what British did everywhere. They just whitened it all up.
Cherry up. This is a nice land. Let's chlorinize it, mate.
What you call this? India?
This is India. No, it's actually not India. It's a big island in between. Okay, we're going to call you Indians then.
Yeah, brownie. That's basically everything every white man said before like 1600.
So to anybody that likes themselves and has never had a warhead, basically what we're looking at here is it's a little tiny candy. It's like an old-fashioned gum sucker, a sucker type of candy, right?
Here we go.
Yeah, so it's pretty hard. He's hitting it against
The table,
wood.
yeah.
Yeah, wood. And this is IKEA wood, so this is solid wood. This is the good stuff.
It's budget wood, but it's good wood.
It's good wood, but it is budget wood.
It's actually what I tell my customers.
So, I mean, that sounds like, you know, like when you get your tooth knocked out after arguing with your girl, and then you take your tooth and you slap it on the wood table. That's kind of what it sounds like.
I don't think that's a common life experience, John.
I'm just trying to see who can relate.
You know, like when it rains? Yeah, everyone does. You know, like when you get into a domestic spat? No, I don't.
Okay, so what they do is it's a good candy. It's like actually, like if you just sold the candy as is, I think a lot of people would get it and enjoy it. But it's almost like John Bryan was made the CEO, and he's like, take all the citric acid we can find, turn it into a powder form, and let's sprinkle it like it's the flour to a raw piece of chicken before we bread it, and then let's put it back in the carton.
So what do you think the two most sour flavors are? Probably lemon and raspberry?
Well, I hope not raspberry. I mean, that's the one I picked.
Oh, really? What did I pick up then? Oh, okay. I got watermelon.
I would say lemon and green apple, since are already sour in nature, are probably the most sour in the game of Warheads, too.
I'm going to do both of those at the same time because if we're going to do this, it might as well be a competition.
You are a sadistic fucker. And so... wait. Well, hold on, Aaron.
Okay.
Mine says Warheads because I wanted to look at the cover because the cover is the guy, and
his head is exploding.
His head is exploding, and it looks like a mushroom cloud, which is also appropriate for what we've been dealing with lately. We're on the verge of nuclear war every other day. These are called extreme sour. Is this like a higher end Warhead? Are you fucking with me here?
Yeah, I got the extreme sour, not just the regular.
Fuck you. What's wrong with you, man?
To be fair, the peg that said regular sour, I think, was empty. By I think there was one left, but I actually got 2 bags of these just in case.
So how are we going to do this? You want us to both put them at the same time, or do you want me to put mine in and you'll talk to me and I'll try to talk to you while I have it in my mouth, vice versa? Or like, what do you want to do?
Yeah, that'd probably be better.
I think it's better. I think it's better radio if we do it that way.
Yeah.
I call it radio. You call it podcasting. Tomato.
21st century, the 1940s.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what we're doing here. We're having Warheads.
Brought to you by Colgate.
What was Warhead called before he made the bomb?
Oh, the candy?
Sour fucks?
Trebuchet?
Hey, you got a sour fuck over there? Can I get one of those? They're called Warheads now, kid. Didn't you see Hiroshima?
Oh, it's an Einstein candy, eh?
All right. So I'm going to go first.
You go first. Drum roll.
You know, like, you're not even hot. Like, normally, like, I wouldn't, you know, like, the first time I went on a roller coaster was because I had a crush on the girl that was forcing me to go on it.
Yeah?
Otherwise, I would never have gone on it. I don't want to do this.
Why do men do anything? Pretty women are bullies. And I'm the second one.
I don't want to do this.
Do it.
All right.
John.
Narrate for the people.
Okay, John's going to put it in his mouth. 1, 2, 3.
All right, I put the Warhead in my mouth.
Uh-huh.
Right. Oh! Oh my God, dude, I fucking hate this. Oh my God.
His face is clenching.
Oh my God. Dude.
This is the first time I've ever seen his arms flex.
It's not enjoyable, Aaron. It's not enjoyable. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. Oh, wow.
Did it get good?
Wow, that is really good.
See, doesn't it make it so much better?
Holy shit.
Once you pull through it?
I feel like this is a Land Before Time when we just went over the mountain range and you just showed me the Green Valley.
Yeah, these are you just got to the tree stars.
Oh my God, that's delicious.
Because like
I have tears running down my eyes. You can't see it from.
I can actually see like a little glisten.
Yeah, like oh my God, and like because I was sweating beforehand because I was nervous. My palms were sweaty. I have Warhead residue on my fingertips.
Now, if you shake someone's hand, you could kill them. When you actually go through the sour actually makes the sweet even better.
You're gonna put 2 in your mouth.
I'm gonna put both in at once.
Do you like what? Are you just out to try to meet the devil tonight? Like, what's wrong with you?
I feel guilty about making you do this, so I have to do something worse to myself.
I have one more question.
Okay.
What's in the middle though? Because it looks like there's like a filling. It's not gonna be sour in the middle, right?
No, I don't know what it is in the middle.
Okay. Aaron is he's picked them up. So what do we have there? I see a lemon? And I see a watermelon.
Green apple.
Oh, green apple. You want with the
watermelon's
2 sour
back
ones.
On the table.
Oh wow, man! God bless you.
You told me to go top shelf.
God bless you. All right, so Aaron's about to put 2 Warheads in his mouth. I'm actually gonna turn my video camera on.
Give me a countdown because I don't know if I can do it.
10, 9, 3, 2, One, we have liftoff. Aaron has put 2 balls in his mouth. Oh, there it is. He just now is... He's like revolting. It looks like you ever seen the video of the guy that takes the cyanide pill right after he gets sentenced to life in prison and then he starts like convulsing? Yeah, it's bad, dude. It's not as good as you remember it.
I didn't remember it being good.
No, but you're about to find Fern Gully, my friend. Just stay with it. This is the part on Everest where he sees like his first dead body. He's like, people really die on this pass. All right, he's starting to come back to it. He just tried to open his mouth and like run his air over. You know when you eat something too spicy and you try to run air over your tongue to try to get rid of it? He was trying to do that. That doesn't work.
Here's the problem.
What's the problem?
I put 2 in at once.
Yeah.
And they were touching each other.
So you didn't get all the sour out. It protected the sour on the 2 of them.
No, they rolled and then it hit me again.
Yeah, so you had 2 waves of sour.
Pretty good. It's pretty good now.
No, he's back to normal now. That's the Aaron I know. So, this podcast has been brought to you by Nuclear Warheads.
I'm going to do watermelon.
You're going to do another one just to do it. What's wrong with you, man?
Time.
Jesus Christ. Now you're just showing off.
Oh,
yeah. That's not good. Yeah, I'm never going to have a warhead again. That's my last warhead. I'm going to retire.
I have a whole bag left. We have a whole episode to do.
No, you're going to do the entire bag. There's no fucking way I'm doing that.
Come on.
There's no way.
For the fans.
No, nobody cares. Nobody listens to our show. We're fine.
For you, everyone in Quebec.
Nobody listens. Yeah, to the one guy in Quebec that listens to our episodes 500 times in a row.
Thank you, Pierre.
Yeah, thank you.
Welcome to this week's episode. What band are we doing this week, John?
We're doing brand new.
I guess that's just depression. No sense in fighting it now. You had me caught in the headlights. You were running me down.
All right, so I'm pretty happy this week. We are doing, in my opinion, one of the best bands that has ever graced this beautiful planet called Mother Nature, Planet Earth.
No, I totally agree that you think that. Like, I totally
Oh,
agree.
wow. I thought you were about to, like, drop some, drop a switch on me. I was like, whoa, did Aaron come around?
No, it's not a switch. You know how, I've been hiding my feelings on this.
So, we're doing brand new. And this is a band that is polarizing, I'd say, to say the least.
Yeah.
So I want to get right into it. Tell me, I'm not really interested about your first memory of brand new because the joke sometimes usually is like, oh, this week, because I've done it too for other bands. So let's do, what was your impression of brand new before this episode?
Before this episode?
Yeah, like were they a band that you even had like any inkling of like anything's different about them, or was it kind of just like, oh, okay, it's a band that John talks about a lot?
My interpretation of them is because one thing you've kind of mentioned to me before is that, if you think Max Bemis is pretentious and like way up his own ass, you're gonna hate brand new. Yeah,
no, Jesse Lacey is there's no qualms about it. He likes himself and he thinks highly of himself. So, but basically, your impressions then are just off of me. Then there was no Aaron previous.
I've never heard of this band from anybody else.
Oh wow, really?
No, seriously. Before I met you, I've never even heard of brand new.
No,
ever.
this is one of those ones, and maybe it's because
honestly, I probably heard the name, but like honestly,
never correlated to anything.
Well, here's the thing. I actually used to always confuse like the name Brand New with Bright Eyes because I've never heard either of them.
Oh wow. I mean, I could see that Bright Eyes is a little depressed and
no, it's just because they both start with
somber.
B, and I've never heard them. Like, no, seriously, like it's literally just like.
And
is that the same thing? Is it different?
Brand new, 2 syllables. Bright Eyes, 2 syllables. Okay,
well,
I can see that.
Shit, sorry, no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding, John.
Hey now,
put down the gun.
Hey now. So what I'm going to do here, then I'm going to go into my memory of brand new, but I'm going to kind of just give you a very quick little how we got to this album, where we're at here, and why this band is a little bit different.
Yeah,
and why you should have a lot more respect. You should be bending the knee for brand new.
Yeah, I'm not going to bow.
So brand new comes out in 2001 with Your Favorite Weapon, which is their first album, and it's a full length and it's a pop punk album, and it's incredible.
Okay,
that's when I heard brand new, and
album
instantaneously
1, pop punk,
fell in love. So right after that, they're going to come out in 2003, 2004ish with their second follow up, and it's called Deja Entiendo. And when they come out with it, it's completely different. Everyone's expecting pop punk round 2. That's the normal progression. They're going to do it this time, but be better at it. They go in a completely opposite direction. When I first heard the album, I cried. Okay.
What type of music would you call album
It's
2?
like it's still coming from that background, but it's like if pop punk guys were just mature enough now to recognize there's other types of music out there, and then they've been listening to it. And now they're giving respects and homage and like bringing in all these like different types of influences. So that's what it is. So it's kind of like alternative rock is what I would say.
Okay.
But more radio bound. Okay. And then it came back around, and I said, you know what, I really like this, and I compared it to as like I liked American cheese, and I was expecting cheddar cheese, and then they came out with blue cheese, and I was like, I don't like this, and then after like 8 times, I was like, this is the best cheese I've ever had. I love it.
That was like Stockholm Syndrome. Continue.
Okay. Fucking dick. So 2006, they come out with arguably their best record. So when Deja and Tandu came out, their second album, it was actually considered the album of the year. It was brilliant. Everybody was like, holy shit. And it made them a different band than what was expected out there. So 2000.
So that album, that like, what would you describe sonically on that? Like, if you've never heard just that album, like one line, like it's this type of music.
It's hard because like it does. It's very.
Is it soft? Is it heavy? Is it fast? Is it slow? Is it good? Is it bad?
It's medium. Some songs are fast. Some songs are very slow. It's an album that doesn't really know what it is yet. It just knows that it's like trying to make good music.
Is it experimental? Is it poppy?
No, it's not experimental. It's structured. Some of the songs were on MTV2. They never went to MTV1. So it's set up for radio play.
So it's still a little pop oriented.
Yeah. It's definitely like they're still playing by the rules. They're going, okay, we know there has to be an intro,
That's
verse,
album
chorus.
3 or 4?
This is the second album, is when we're talking about Deja. So the third album, which is The Devil and God, is the one I'm talking about right now. He's completely switched from pop punk high school antics to the second album, which is like all about love and lost. He's now like questioning God and what his purpose in the universe is and what his life is. And this is more of an alt rock album. And it's what most people would say is their best album to date. That's cool.
This is where they get all kind of like progressive and experimentally.
A little bit. They're still playing by the rules. There's no of like, you don't like how some of the tracks on the albums have the talking and like the random sound bites and whatnot.
Yeah, like, oh, I found this cool clip that's really weird.
So this album is very similar musically to Science Fiction, the one we're covering today.
Okay.
But it doesn't have any of that like hipster prog rock type of shit. It's still structured. It still plays by the rules. Here's a song starts, song ends. Here's the next song, chorus, verse.
Thank God.
But it's mature. It's very, very good. So most people would say that's their best album. So 2009, they come out with Daisy. Daisy is... I don't know what the fuck Daisy is. And if you hear some noise in the background, Bronx is like taking every big toy he has right now and slamming it around.
He's picking up all the toys that we usually have to take away from him, and he knows it.
And we just like, you were like, all right, Bronx, you can have it. And so that album is like a thrash album. It's very screamy. It's very moody. It's darker and depressed more so than their other albums. And their other albums are already pretty dark and depressed.
Yeah, they don't strike me as a happy band.
Yeah, that's why I love them. So 2009 is Daisy, and that's it. Brand New just disappears.
For how long?
2017 is when they come out with their 5th album. And
what year did Daisy come out?
Daisy was 2009, early 2009.
So it's been 8 years?
8 years, but nothing, no talks, nothing. They've just been dead. So in 2015, they started mailing out randomly to fans a really, really nice song lyric booklet.
Wait, really quick. Are you sure after Daisy they just weren't all working in the Obama administration?
Yeah, maybe that was it. They moved to DC and got into politics.
You mean Senator, or you mean Commissioner Lacey in charge of gas and energy?
I don't know what they were doing. They would play shows occasionally. There was a couple of times I went out to see them on tour, but like they weren't really doing much. Like they were kind of like gone. And people still were expecting, like, they're like, where's more Brand New? Like, this band's not done yet. We want them. So 2015, they started mailing out really nice booklets.
Do you know how hard it is for me not to make a joke every time you say, where's the brand new?
I know. I was waiting for you to do that joke because you've been doing it since we started talking about this album off the air. And this is like 3 or 4 weeks ago when this album came out. So the minute you were going to do it this time, I was going to take you and just ride it right into the ground. But now, because I'm in a good mood, I'm going to tell you that's what I was going to do.
It's almost like every time you say, like, the new brand new, like, it's almost like you're going knock knock.
Well, you know what it is, though?
You mean the brand new?
No, but like it's funny the first time you do it. But
it's going to be funny.
But it's only you and I. So after that, it's like you keep doing it, and like in your head, I think you think there's like an audience, and they're like laughing at my frustration, but there isn't.
Oh, no.
It's
I'm
just you being
at frustration.
Fuck. Yeah, you're just a sick fuck, Aaron.
It's such a dumb, terrible name to me.
It is a dumb name.
But
like,
like,
I think they said that too.
And also
though.
the fact that they went really long without any new albums. Like, it's like, so there's nothing brand new. Like, I'm like the New York Post. I'm not trying to be funny. I can't not do a bad pun.
Right, and you kind of you made a joke last time. We were talking about this, and you said like that's like horrible to use on the internet. Well, guess what? When they came out with their name, the internet didn't really exist. So at that time, Brand New was like the usable name. It was the same like My Band Was My Getaway. If we came out with the name that now, that's a horrible name for a band. That's a very very difficult name. So 2015, they mailed.
Wait, so what was the internet when they came out?
2001.
What would you call the internet at that point?
It's like AOL dial-up with no buddy lists.
I mean, like, it's awareness in the culture.
What do you mean?
Would you say that the internet was brand new?
Ba-dum-ba-bum. Add that soundbite.
I don't do it to be
All
a
right.
dick.
We're going to stop right now this episode.
I just had to get those all out of my system.
Get them out. Are they out of your system? I put a warhead in my mouth.
Thank you for that. I've been lonely. Okay, go.
So 2015, they start mailing out booklets that were supposed to be mailed out in the 2006 release of The Devil and God Are Raging Inside Me.
Because they're lazy.
Because they're lazy. And all of a sudden people start getting online. They're like, whoa, I just got this thing that I reached out in 2006 with Brand New for. They just sent it to me today. It's 2015. So everyone's like, what's going on with Brand New? So now they start to show activity. They start to update their website. They release a song that's from an older album that never made it. And it comes out as a single. That's a good song.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they put up on their website, Brand New, 2001, 2018. And everyone's like, whoa, wait, what? And they basically announced that they're breaking up. And this was like in 2016, 2015. And so we just got this album like out of nowhere. And knowing in the context that they're breaking up and this could be the last actual public release from them,
Yeah.
it kind of puts the album, I think, into a lot more of a structure.
I don't think they'd break up though. Like, cause like them doing that and then not breaking up is also a total like one of the thing they would fucking do.
Right? No, that's exactly what you're at. And here's the other thing, and I you don't know their history as well as I do. They've had problems in the past with albums leaking or an album coming out that wasn't the album that's supposed to come out. So when I first got the Dejan Tandu album, okay,
Yeah.
I was on my first tour with my band and it leaked. And so I got it through, like, we were like in some West Virginia town and one of the scene kids at our show was like, oh, did you hear Brand New leaked? And like, we were able to get it through that. It's kind of like getting like, you know, it was kind of cool how it got out, but it wasn't the actual album. Like the songs leaked for it that came out. And then when they came out with The Devil and God, which is their third album, an entire album leaked before that. That was Devil and God. And when it leaked, they stopped and started over. So like 9 songs came out. It's a complete album.
Yeah.
And then that leaked. And then they threw that in the trash and they came back out with the new album, which was The Devil and God.
I'm always skeptical of leaks.
Right? It's a little, they're also, when it comes to viral and guerrilla marketing, like they do too many things too often that it's just a coincidence.
No,
Like-
absolutely.
Like,
I'm skeptical.
I think Jesse Lacey is a genius when it comes to that type of shit. And I think they really took that for a ride.
So they sent out these lyric books in 2015. Then
Yeah.
what happened?
So they announced that they have a new album coming out in the fall of 2016. And everyone's like, okay, fall 2016 comes around. No album. And they say that they recorded it, but they didn't like it, so they threw it away. And that's it. Nobody hears from it again. They still are on tour. Jesse Lacey's now doing really weird intros to songs. He'll just stop and he'll be like, hey, I just want to let everybody know that, and he starts crying and he's like, I love this band and I really had a good time with everybody and, you know, I'm just happy.
Like
And-
sincerely?
Yeah, sincerely. And Jesse's always had a problem where he's an arrogant prick. And so like when you'd see him play, he always like kind of had like a stink to him and type of shit.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think he finally started to humble and like he finally came down and like, you know, he's no longer young Jesse Lacey. And this all happened once he got married.
Yeah.
He started to change his personality. And so
Oh yeah. If I
So-
wasn't married, I'd be a prick.
yeah. So, and he's, now we're starting to see that. So it's kind of cool though, too. This is a guy like we all grew up with. He's an idol to me. A lot of people love him. And now we're starting to see like him kind of, you know what it is like, you know, like when your dad's like such a prick to you and then finally you get old enough and now he just like kind of starts treating you like his equal and you're like, oh shit, man, that was really cool. My dad just like had a conversation with me that he would have like a normal person.
No, I mean my dad.
A bad example. But I'm just
Yeah.
saying like, you know, like what I'm saying though.
No, I know the I know the
you know, like maybe it's like a boss or something and just one night, like he just starts to treat you cool.
Really quick though, on that same thing though, like him getting married, like truly, I think the biggest reason I am like not a total fucking monster cockmunch human being
Right.
is all because like I have my wife, like I have someone in my life that has been more important than me to
Right.
me for a long time.
Right.
Because otherwise, like
Well-
then my ego would have no limits.
I actually have a great point. I'm going to wrap it up with that point. That's
Okay.
not what you just said. So they say that they scrapped the album and that's it. And everyone's like, oh. And I remember about a year ago, if you go on my Facebook, you can see me posting because they released a couple songs that were brand new. Go ahead.
No, you already did it.
brand
I
new
thought you
songs?
did
Okay.
it.
All right.
I thought you were making the joke because
You got me so in
stopped.
my head now. I'm like,
No, just the pause alone fills in the rest of that joke. And you just did it. So you did it first.
So they released two songs that were completely brand new from Brand New's brand new album that was supposed to be coming out. And then they scrapped the album. And I was posting on my Facebook. I'm like, oh my God, brand new. Everything's cool again. Like, I'm happy.
Yeah.
No album. So
I found a dealer, guys. I found a dealer.
So 2017, August of 2017, I get a phone call from my cousin. And he's like, yo, what are you doing? I'm like, nothing much, man. I haven't heard from you in a while. Like, how's it going? He's like, you got the brand new album? And I'm like, what? He's like, they released an album. I'm like, when? He's like, 4 hours ago? I was like, what? And he's like, go online. So I go online and they put up a pre-order like that day or like a week ago. And they said our fifth LP is coming out in the fall of 2017. You can pre-order it right now. And we have 500 available. So 500 people pre-ordered it.
Was I here that day?
I think you were really close to me that day because I was like, it was a weird day. I was like freaking the fuck out.
No, I remember we were doing something. I think we were trying to like plan out the next couple of shows we were going to do.
Right.
And like all of a sudden, like you got a phone call and then you were like fucking antsy on the computer.
Yeah. Like I was like right into it. And so what they ended up doing, and like I started to explain this to you. And when I was explaining it to you, you were kind of like rolling your eyes. You're like, okay, yeah. And then you finally understood what they did. And you were like, oh, that's actually really, really cool.
I don't remember this.
Okay, so what they did is the people that pre-ordered, the 500 people that pre-ordered the new LP that's coming out in October, and they said it was the vinyl version of it. They had like 500 pre-orders for it.
Okay.
And that the album was going to go on sale in a couple months, but you can pre-order that now. They mailed them, they overnighted them a burnt CD. And the burnt CD had no name and it just had some like long numbers on it. And what we found out is the numbers were latitude and longitude. And if you put it into Google Maps, it's
I remember
it's
this.
Devil's Tower, which is the really creepy tower in the middle of Wyoming that Close Encounters of the Third Kind used to abduct people.
Yeah.
It's iconic.
Oh yeah, I know it right away.
And people are like, whoa, this is like one track. It's an hour and 8 minute long track. Like, what is this? And they put it in their CD player, which by the way, we've made this joke too before. If somebody gave me a CD right now, besides the Xbox 360,
yeah,
I would not be able to play that. So
except
thank
for
God
my
I still have
PlayStation
that.
4. That's the only thing I have that is discs.
That's it. So people now they have this burnt brand new disc and they don't know what it is. Can you imagine the people that are like, whoa, and they're calling up, hey Carl, can I come over?
Grandma, can I borrow the Civic? I need to borrow the Civic.
Yeah, exactly.
And he gets in and it has the USB. She's like, God damn it!
Ah!
Grandma, when did you go to the tooth? The Bluetooth. God damn it,
Yeah.
Doris!
No.
You fuck.
Yeah, so I'm sure they're giving people like a self-induced panic.
Yeah.
And which is totally brand new as well. And so finally, people get it in and they start getting on the forums. They're like, "Yo, I have a brand new album," and people are like, "Yeah." They're like, "No." They sent me a burnt CD. It's handwritten with latitude and longitude. And when you put it in, it's 10, 12, 11 tracks. And they're all new. And the only way you could find out what the tracks were is you had to use Shazam, which is, again, kind of funny on your iPhone now. What song is this? They preloaded everything into that database. So when you asked that what song it was, you listened to it, it told you it's brand new album, science fiction, track number 8, and then the name of the song. And that's literally how kids transcribed the track and then started spreading it on the internet. I think that's kind of pretty cool to come out of nowhere, especially a band with that cult following.
Yeah, here's my question though.
Yeah.
Is this your favorite band or the script for National Treasure 3?
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because...
It's on the back of a Warped Tour compilation.
No, I was going to say, yeah.
You got to put it in the oven, Jimmy.
Mike, I know you're in D.C., and I know they won't get you close. Get behind that fucking Declaration of Independence and tell me what it says on the third line. I need to know for Deja and Tiendu.
Oh my God, it's just a picture of Jesse Lacey's dick.
Oh my God. It would have been funny if they would have somehow did all this cryptic shit and like it was the latitude and longitude to Nick Cage's house in like Beverly Hills.
Oh my God, they're the one that stole his comic book.
I think we've never really talked about Nick Cage, but I think he goes into auditions and he just sits down and he goes, so how much of Nick Cage do you want in this one? They're like 18% Nick Cage. He's like, okay, I can do it. I'll do it.
What the fuck in your mind makes you think Nick Cage has to audition?
No, I mean, I'm saying like, it's like the pre-meeting where he's just like, okay, you got Nick, you want Nick, Nick's interested. How much Nick do you need for this part?
we don't.
And that's what they tell him.
We don't need the whole Nick. We just need the tip.
Yeah, they're like, we need 45% of Nick. He's like, I don't know if I could do only 45. For this one, I'm feeling 65. And they're like, okay, we could maybe get away with 65 Nick, but...
Do you want the guy from Kick-Ass or do you want Gone in 60 Seconds? Call me when you fucking know.
Yeah, you call me. I'll be waiting.
What's the most Nick Cage movie? Probably...
Oh, man.
I don't watch a lot of movies, but I've seen...
The most Nick
couple.
Cage movie, I think, is the Kevin Smith Superman movie that never came out. And I think Kevin Smith, even though the studio canceled that movie, I think Kevin Smith did us all a favor because I don't think we were ready for that. I think honestly, space.
Have you read the script?
No, I haven't, but I
have.
know the background of it. You actually read the script?
I've read the entire script.
Oh my gosh, let's talk about that real quick. What
It's
do we got?
really good.
It's a really good one. I heard it was like Kevin Smith's a huge comic book guy.
And well, here's Kevin Smith's biggest
But what was
thing.
his- why
He's
did
a
he
great writer, great dialogue writer. He's a director.
No, why did he want Nick Cage? What was his? Like,
He didn't want Nick Cage. Nick Cage was already attached.
He
Nick
didn't want
Cage
Nick
was
Cage.
already paid for being
He
in
didn't
it.
want Nick Cage. Nick Cage wanted Nick Cage.
Yeah. Like he walked into a room and they're like, well, that's like, you know how like some apartments are like, actually that has to stay here because like we built the apartment around it.
Yeah.
That's Nick Cage.
That was Nick Cage.
Superman.
What's that conundrum? Because this is before superhero movies like really became like what they are now, which is now it's just like Hollywood doesn't have to think anymore. They're like, okay, wait, you guys have been writing these stories for how long? 75 years? Okay, yeah, we'll keep putting out whatever you want. So what I'm saying is like when it comes to Kevin Smith, like how bad is that when you're Kevin Smith? You grew up around comics. They are what? And now you finally get to put it into a medium that you can show people how you weren't a nerd. You were reading these incredibly gifted storytelling stories with pictures, and then you have Nick Cage.
No, here's the thing. You've seen the story where he talks about like this producer, like there has to be a polar bear fight, there has to be action every 15 minutes.
And the one,
there has to be a sidekick.
And then there was the same producer wanted the spiders. Like that was his big thing. It has to be a fight with spiders.
Which is then in Wild Wild West.
Wild West, yeah.
All that's in there.
We'll put a link up. We're going to put a link up to this podcast that Kevin Smith talks about this.
No, it's not a podcast. It's a Q&A he did.
Well, no, there's a podcast of it too. I think on Kevin Smith's like channel. He put it out there.
podcast? Yeah. But like the YouTube videos do it best because that's so many years ago, and he has the story nailed.
So we're going to put this medium up somehow in our linear notes so you guys can see what we're talking about. You need to check this out. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's from Evening with Kevin Smith.
If you're a fan of Brand New and you think Brand New is incredible in music, this is what we're talking about right now. It's the same exact thing, the comics, superhero movies,
and I will
movies.
see if I can find a copy of the script online if you want to read it.
All right.
Okay, so definitely check the website for that. That'll be awesome.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
So yeah, we're doing some band you like.
Yeah, we're doing a brand new podcast about Brand New.
Oh, are we doing the Nowcast? The Newcast? Newcastle?
We're doing the new cast.
Are we doing
So the
John and Aaron go to Newcastle?
So the word starts to spread that there's a new album out. From Brand New. I got to tell you, man, it's amazing. It's such a freaking good album.
It's really good. And I am going to admit right now, this is a very good album.
Yeah, and so like I when I first heard it, I remember when I cried because it was like it could be their, and again they're weird and like they kind of like Jesse Lacey's a very difficult person to understand. And like I could totally see what you were saying where it's like this is the end and it's really not the end. But there's always that you always think like this could be it. Like, you know what I mean? It's like when you hear it, you're like, wow, this could be the last time I'm hearing, you know, besides maybe like them releasing a demo of something that they didn't actually put on.
Oh yeah, this whole album basically sounds like it sounds like a suicide note.
It's absolutely a suicide note.
We're gonna get to that. We're not to the part yet where we actually talk about the album yet, though. Let's keep going through history.
Yeah, so like it really bothered me when I was first listening to it, and then I started to be like, I was like, this might be their best album. And I was like, there's no way because Dejan Tandy's incredible.
Does that mean I don't have to listen to any of the others because I listen to the best?
We're gonna go to them all one day, buddy.
Episode 300, the next Brand New album.
No, it's gonna be like episode 52. We're coming up on them.
We're gonna do that for the year mark.
Yeah. So, Dejan Tandy was great, but everyone would say "Devil and God" from 2006 is their best album, their third one.
You know what my favorite one is? Probably Paisley. That one's really good.
Dick. It could be as good as Devil and God, if not better. I think it's their best album.
Really?
Yeah, I'm going out there, and it might be again that it's brand new and like I'm like so like into it type of thing.
Yeah.
But like I'm doing that on purpose.
It's so hard not to do it though, because like literally, you're literally walking into fucking Bears Den. I'm like, you have to keep talking about Brand New, and then the album's also brand new.
So I'm gonna really quick, I guess, give you my first memory.
Yeah, hit me.
I was on a boat. One of my friends in high school lived on a boat. And we used to hang out there all the time because our parents were never there. So like we would just hang out on her boat.
Is it a large boat, small boat, houseboat,
Houseboat.
or just like a pontoon?
Houseboat. It was big. It had 3 bedrooms, bathroom, kitchen, living room,
deck, hoop deck,
and then a boat. It had a boat.
Eastern bow.
It was a boat. And so we would go there
Starboard.
and we would hang out. But I remember I was in 10th grade. Maybe I was in junior year of high school, 2002. Yeah. And they showed me a music video of Jude Law and A Semester Abroad. And it's basically a tour montage.
Wait, slow down, say that again. Jude Law
and A Semester Abroad. It was their single off of their first album.
Oh, okay.
And
like seriously, I thought that's like Is there a movie called Semester
Well, no,
Abroad?
it was about Jesse Lacey's girlfriend dumped him because she fell in love with a guy from her class and she was going over to England to study college, and it was like him telling her to go fuck herself.
Wait, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to keep interrupting, but you literally said she was going to study college.
Yeah, she's going to study college, you know?
You sound like the most like doc worker I've ever heard. You know the books.
She fucking broke Jesse's heart. She's going to study college. She said, go fuck yourself, you know?
Yeah, now Jesse's out there playing these fucking whiny songs.
Now he's like letting his emotions out on his sleeve. I didn't like it at first because it made me uncomfortable. But once I realized, it's not bad.
Yeah.
It's not bad at all.
Once I sober up enough to have feelings again.
I got to tell you, though, every time Tommy hears it, he cries. We all still make fun of him. But you know what?
Tommy, you still crying, bitch?
I think Tommy's got a gun.
Tommy's got a gun.
So they showed me the video. And at the time, there was like a whole bunch of pop punk coming out. Good Charlotte was out, all that. And for whatever reason, they just resonated with me. And I was like, this is the best thing I've ever heard in my entire life. And I became obsessed.
Yeah, they're your number one.
Obsessed.
I don't even think you have a close second.
From day one, though. Day one. And this is their pop punk album. Day one, they were just different. There's something about them, man. Like they struck a chord with me.
Yeah.
And I also they're really deep. So like they put thought into their lyrics and everything's kind of interconnected. So if you are like a nerd like me and you kind of just like to lock yourself away and like dig into something, it's the perfect band to do that with.
Oh yeah, you basically it's a Sudoku meets a crossword puzzle inside of the Declaration of Independence.
Yeah, that's actually awesome. So I guess that's kind of a good chunk of getting us to where we're at now. Let's cut to a break and when we come back in, we'll start talking about science fiction.
Cool, I have opinions on that.
I'm sorry. This was like 99% John Bryan this time.
No, honestly, the biggest reason I'm like, you know what we should do this album is because like John won't stop texting me things like, there's this connection to him. Like, dude, I don't like, I feel bad that I'm not excited for you every time.
Yeah, I know.
As like a friend, you know what I mean?
I know.
But it's like if you were really into baseball and I'm really into Pokemon.
Yeah.
And you're like, he just hit 3 home runs. I'm like, yeah, but is there a Charizard? Like, I have no emotional resonance.
It's funny
with like their history.
Like pulling myself off of it like that. My texts are kind of weird now. I'm like, dude, this song's about a nuclear bomb, and he says something about the Garden of Eden, and then he says, but you made the atom, but he's talking about the atom of the nuclear bomb or the atom that God made for the Garden of Eden. It's fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah, and I feel I'm like. Cool. And also, you got to realize you are starting to you're souring me on brand new only because you keep sending me like these super fucking hyperbolic like Vice articles.
I have to say, man, like I don't get excited very often.
No,
I get up. I'm like I'm whatever my brain's producing right now. It feels good.
Yeah, it's called dopamine.
Yeah,
it's how the rest of us actually function.
Yeah, dude. It's like this is great stuff.
Like you just function on like revenge and hate. All right, let's play a little bit of brand new, then we'll come back and we'll actually talk about some science fiction.
Sweep the feathers you preened. Next you should dominate all the quests. Everyone said what you hard and last you go back to sleep.
Hey guys, we hope you're enjoying the show. If you are, it would help us out a lot if you could rate, review, and subscribe in iTunes or however else you get your podcasting fix. Or better yet, just tell somebody you know via word of mouth. It goes a lot farther than you think.
If you'd like to get in contact with us here at the show, you can find us on Twitter at PodPunkShow. You can also email the show at podpunkshow@gmail.com. If you're in a band and you want us to consider using one of your songs underneath a future episode at the end, or maybe if we really like it, we'll tell people to go listen to it, you can also email it to us again at podpunkshow@gmail.com. Thank you so much for listening. Let's get back to the show.
All right, so there's a little bit of brand new, and so yeah, let's actually jump into this album. Let's talk about this album.
Hold on. You can't just do what you did, and you think I'm just gonna. So we just took a break, and when we take the break, we actually break. And I just came back into the room, and in my apartment, I don't have any clean dishes. Go figure. And so Aaron's drinking Pepsi Max for the caffeine effect, but he's drinking it out of a wine glass.
It's the only glass you
And
had.
I walk in, and he's got this Pepsi Max. It looks like a Pinot Grigio, and he just holds it up. He goes, "For our enemies," and he belches and then takes a sip. And it was one of the most badass stupidest things I've ever seen in my entire life. He just did it, and then he just
talking immediately.
right after he goes, all right, so we're back on the path. Just like that. I'm just like, come on, man. Like I can't just ignore that.
Because sometimes I like to do things just to see your reaction, but then immediately start the show. So you just have to deal with it.
Yeah, so it's like SNL, and I can't laugh because Lorne Michaels will fire me.
That's right. To like really deep dark thing, like I killed him once, man. All right, so we're back from the break.
It's so
So
funny,
John
man.
like can't say anything.
All right, so let's we're back. I'll let you
I've
do.
never
what you
been to
do.
Idaho.
Okay, Aaron.
So yeah, that's a little bit of brand new.
Yeah, it's a little bit of science fiction. The new album, 5th album.
I like this album.
It's really good, right? It's not a bad album at all.
It's the whole thing, like, because you're kind of given like this whole like story, and like it is super interesting, and I grant that. It's not the thing that I dig into on a band, so like I have trouble connecting to that aspect.
Well, you also have to realize that I'm a super fan, basically.
Well, yeah, no, it's like you've been looking for this like pirate's treasure for 20 years.
Yeah,
and I just found out that boat sank.
Yeah, so like you just like, you're not gonna care. And I'll be honest with you too. And like you were making jokes all week about the National Treasure movies. And I started to realize, like, I was kind of like, I am kind of making them seem like that's kind of like their thing. And that's just like, they do a lot of things like that, but it's really only for like the super fans. Like 99% of brand new fans don't even realize half the shit I was talking about.
Oh, probably. But honestly, like every time you would text me a new thing, I just feel like you're at home. You're like sitting on a couch in the dark with just like one light on in the corner, and you're just like, these liner notes are trying to tell me something.
Tell me what it is. Take me to that night. Who killed you, Julie? Who killed you?
Oh man, John Bryan, pop punk Indiana Jones.
No, I mean that's actually.
I've got to
funny,
find
man.
this brand new album before the Skinheads. No, this album is like it feels like I don't know how to explain it. Like have you ever played Grand Theft Auto San Andreas?
Oh God, yeah. I actually dropped out of community college when Grand Theft Auto San Andreas came out.
Basically, like the Grand Theft Auto games, like you know how like they usually have like a genre radio station.
Yeah.
And they have like and Sirius XM also has this where they have like
Laszlo doing like all this shit.
Yeah, not like 90s on 9. They usually actually have one. I think it's like called Reality Bites or something. Like it's just like 90s rock alternative.
Yep.
This album literally just sounds like that station, like, and just kind of like almost they just chopped it up, threw it in a blender, and spat it out.
Yeah, I mean they've never been ashamed to kind of if they like something from another band, just kind of do their version of it, I guess.
Yeah.
And it's really funny though, because most of the people that listen to brand new don't listen to those types of music. So to all of them, they're like, oh man, this is so cool. It's so new. And you don't realize like, no, that's Alice in Chains, or like that's Pearl Jam. Like literally that's the riff from Pearl Jam. Vinny's just changing it up.
That's just the beginning of Zombie by the Cranberries mixed with the beginning of Creep by Stone Temple Pilots.
That being said though, and I think you can agree with me because we have a lot in common music wise. I love that genre of music.
Oh yeah,
so
late
to hear
90s post grunge.
So to hear somebody revive it and kind of put their stamp on it, that also came up through the emo movement. It's kind of cool to kind of get that. It's like, you know what I mean? It's almost like somebody remade a movie from a genre that you like at a time, and now they're like modernizing it, I guess. But it's also got everything you still liked about that genre. I think that's kind of cool. It's like the new It movie that just came out.
I don't know anything about that.
It was a movie with a clown. It was made in the 80s, and they redid it now, and it's like it happened now.
Pennywise.
Yeah, Pennywise. It's cool.
You know why I know what? Do you know why I know about that?
I'm going to guess the punk band Pennywise.
Yeah, that was basically it.
Oh, that was anticlimactic. Bum, bum, ba-da.
Fuck authority, the silent majority, raised by the system.
So,
Rise up against them.
what were your thoughts when you started listening to this
Oh,
album?
just that 90s thing, man. Like that, I think that's actually why I like this album, is because like it has that total, like, I call it post grunge. This is like at the same time you have like Third Eye Blind, E016, which I fucking love.
Right.
But you also have like later Alice in Chains. You have like the Cranberries doing Zombie.
Right. A lot of Morrissey.
Morrissey in the 90s?
I was going to say not the 90s. I'm going to say he's imitating Morrissey basically, and the Smiths from the 80s, but.
Oh yeah, that's the part of it I can't fucking stand.
Yeah, that I could definitely see.
I can't fucking stand
That's that
Morrissey.
Max Bemis ego neuroticism.
It's my thing about Morrissey is I can't stand the lead singer that's like, "Don't look at me." I'm like, you knew there were stage lights.
I do have to say though, with this album, it's his most realistic album, meaning that the past albums are definitely a little bit more introspective. This one, like you kind of said, it was like a suicide note. It's kind of him. It's like him just trying to figure out like how am I going to end this? Like what's the right way to go out?
The vibe of this entire album is a man alone in a cabin with a polished gun and whiskey.
Oh man, that sounds like my perfect dream vacation.
It's not a vacation. Like he literally rented a car under a fake name so his family doesn't look for him.
Ted Zazinski is what you're trying to say.
I don't know who that is.
It's the Unabomber.
No, that dude didn't kill himself, did he?
No, he didn't, but he had a cabin in the woods. He had a beard. He drank a lot of whiskey.
Oh, no. I think this dude's out there to kill himself.
Oh, okay.
But, like, he hasn't found a way that was good enough for him to feel like, yeah, that's what I deserve.
No, that makes kind of sense. It's a very somber album, but they've always been, they dwell in the negative aspect of being alive. Like, basically, if I had to sum Brand New up, it's just like you're living, and when you really stop living and you just stop and think about it, it's kind of hard to live. And I think that's where they kind of like to sit. And I don't think everybody likes to go there. And I think that's my natural resting point.
It might be true, the not wanting to go there, because like when you just said that, there's a huge part of me that's like...
Well, that's their whole
like,
thing.
Like almost like that, like I've said before, like that mean 70s dad thing of me where I'm like,
Right.
yeah, so what, pussy? Like,
Right,
you know
no,
what
exactly.
I mean? Like, yeah, life's hard.
No, but it's just like one of those things where it's like, just stop right now and just think.
Okay.
Your heart right now is beating.
Yeah.
And it could stop at any moment.
Yeah.
There's no reason that it's still going. But like when you start to think about that and you actually know that's what's kind of keeping everything going, that's kind of overwhelming. That's a little much to just like you just stop. But you're always so busy you never actually stop and think about that. I think that's kind of where Brand New
I've
is.
accepted it.
You've accepted it and you can accept it. But I'm just saying like that's kind of where they get. They kind of like to start to dig into that and like feel it around. And
Oh yeah.
that's
I'm
where
okay
they
with
like to
dying.
roll.
I'm totally
Right.
okay with dying.
Right.
Are you not okay with dying?
Yeah, it's not really the dying part. I think it's just more of the living and keeping everything together type of part, not being easy.
I get that. Here's the thing, like lyrically, I have no idea what this album's about. The whole vibe of it is like, it's really good. It's very interesting texture wise. The music of it's really good. The guitar parts are interesting. It is a little kind of shoegazy. It's a little like a lot of effects pedals, a lot of
they're definitely now are they're more of a prog rock style.
Yeah.
A lot of weed, I would say, is going on.
And like it's really fun to listen to, but it's not like there's no song on this album. Like if you all right, you're Aaron Haig or you're you, the listener, hi listener, and you walked into a Wendy's.
Right.
There's not a single song on this album that you'd walk into the Wendy's as a plane, you go, oh shit, this is my fucking jam.
No,
not a single one.
If this came on when these people would start getting up and walking out. Like it's not supposed to be that album though. You know what I mean?
No, I get that, but like that's a huge aspect of what I really dig in music.
Okay, yeah, no, that makes perfect sense then. That makes absolute perfect sense. So the thing that I like about them a lot, and we're not going to really get into it in this episode. I want to mention it though, because I don't think a lot of people realize it. And they were around this entire like beginning of the pop punk universe that this show
I would say a very specific
based on.
strain.
Yeah.
They're more part of that like emo post-hardcore.
Well, no, I mean like basically like we've started to really narrow everything down. So there's definitely a SoCal scene that was like more of your traditional punk, and then out of the Northeast came like the emo movement is very Northeast based, is I would argue.
Post-hardcore emo specifically.
So Jesse Lacey, he started in Taking Back Sunday. Like he's in that band.
Yeah.
And he ends up leaving Taking Back Sunday. I don't think they left on great terms. I don't know the whole story with it, but I almost think like he was kind of vouching to be like one of their singers. And I think Adam ended up coming in. And so he's like, well, I'm done here. Because they already had John as the backup singer.
I was going to say, Taking Back Sunday's like, well, we can't have 3 singers. That'd be ridiculous.
That'd be stupid. So
Liar.
he quit and starts his own band. And it's really funny because the first Brand New album that comes out, one of their songs has lyrics from a Taking Back Sunday song in it.
Oh, really?
And they're kind of like fighting back and forth. And it was it's really funny. So there was always
It's almost like diss
there.
tracks.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
in hip hop.
Yeah, and it's just like it's really funny because like the founder of Taking Back Sunday was also in the Movie Life, and then the Movie Life just this week came out with their new album for the first time in a very long time. Vinny. Have you heard the Movie Life album yet?
It's good. I really dug it. It's also the only Movie Life album I've heard.
Oh yeah, I gotta get you into the older ones. The older ones are like pure pop punk. I think you would like them a lot.
I listened to a lot of I Am the Avalanche though.
Oh, I Am the Avalanche is like one of my top 5 bands, man.
They're really good.
So that's how I had to put it. So this new Movie Life album is the old Movie Life, and then I Am the Avalanche. If they got slammed into each other in a neutron crusher, like what is that? A high capacity? What's the CERN thing? The neutron collision.
Super Collider?
Super Collider. If they put those two types of bands in a Super Collider, the new Movie Life album, that would be the result of that.
You couldn't just say they made a baby. You had to go all scientific.
Yeah, but we always say baby, and then I was trying to be cool with the scientific, and I couldn't remember it, so now I look stupid.
And I didn't help you out. You know what? That's more my failing as a comedy partner. Because I'm supposed to be there to lift you up where you belong.
Yeah, you're supposed
where
to.
Eagles fly.
You're supposed to build me up so I can shine.
What is it so much about the darkness of this that you're attracted to, though? I find that interesting. Like sometimes we paint you on the show as like you're super cynical and like you're really morose and like you're 2 days away from like taking your own life, and all that's true. But like we do play it up more than it's like.
It's always a caricature. I don't think that. I think there's an element that I'm self-aware of when it comes to life. And I think Jesse Lacey sings in that same key, and it just resonates with me. Like, you know, like when something just hits like the perfect note, it's like it rings. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's him.
That's how I felt about Walking Wounded. Like I literally felt like,
Well, yeah. No,
I felt like it was almost like me talking to myself sometimes of like how true things
right.
were.
And so I can see though, like the aspects of the Walking Wounded that I really like and I really listen to. And it's with that though, I don't really have a lot of self input. Like there are parts of the Walking Wounded where I'm like, okay, that's totally me. But it's more of like I appreciate how well written the lyrics are. Where you, when it comes to the anger issues and it comes to like I'm my own worst enemy at the end of the day, it's not, but I blame it on everybody else type of shit. But there's a lot of like personal aspects that you have with that, and I can totally see that's kind of where Brand New resonates with me. Like the song on this one, Manic Depressive.
Yeah.
Like, that's not the name of the song. It's Can't Get It Out, but it's all about how the chorus is like he's a manic depressive, but he means well. Like that's totally me. Like I can go to a party, I could be having a blast, and people will come up and ask me what's wrong.
Well, we've done a lot of episodes together.
Yeah.
We hang out a lot.
Yeah.
I've probably, I think 3 times ever seen you truly happy, and one of them was when you guessed the Vandals on the whatever episode it was we did the covers.
No, there's like you were making a joke earlier. I don't know if it was on the air, but there's definitely a dopamine problem up here. Like I don't
yeah, no, that's what depression is.
I don't get it as much as
it's also part
everybody
of ADHD.
Yeah, no, it's totally.
You only feel good when you're doing something new.
Yeah, it has to be something like that I'm interested in.
ADHD is literally your brain like can't do repetitive tasks.
And like whenever I do it, it feels like I'm making like there's like a slow drip, and it just feels like I'm getting like an itch scratched.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I like that. It's like, oh, how can I get back to this place often? But I guess that's kind of why I like Brand New. But like that's the whole thing is like they're not all sad. Devil and God was a sad album. Really
because there's
sad.
the Dead Girl song.
Well, there's a Dead Girl song, which Limousine, which is that's the other thing. This album makes so many references, and that's like why it kind of breaks my heart is he makes so many references to past Brand New songs and albums.
Yeah.
And to me that's a eulogy. Like, you know what I mean? Like when you go up to a funeral, you talk about all the good parts.
I think
he's doing that.
I think it's actually a little bit more. It's one of the biggest signs that someone's going to commit suicide is they start giving away their possessions.
No, so they do, or like they say
this album feels like it's like him being like,
or
you know what, Tom? I know you're only my mailman, but I want you to have my watch.
No, that's what it is. Or like the other thing they say with suicide is the person will call you up and they'll just make peace. Like they'll call you up and you'll have the best phone conversation ever. And like it almost feels like as you're going through this album, he's trying to find a way to get, you know what I'm saying? Like he starts off one song where he's like, hey, I'm a manic depressive. I'm really sorry about the past. Like sometimes I don't mean to be like that. Sometimes I just can't get it out. And that's literally what it is. And then the next song is like, he's talking about how like, you know, fuck it. Like we should just all watch Nagasaki burn. And like, it's a play on like the atom bomb and like, who gives a shit anymore? We're all going to be ash anyway type of shit. But then he comes back around and he has like a new take on it. It's almost like he's trying to like struggle between his cynicism and then just trying to not be like that anymore. It's really interesting.
Is it Nagasaki?
Yeah, Nagasaki.
What was the other one?
Let's all go to Nagasaki.
I was trying to think of what the other place that got hit by the atomic bomb
Hiroshima.
was. That was it.
Yeah.
Sorry, I kind of spaced off because I couldn't remember it. Do you know what the 2 planes that dropped the bombs are called?
The Enola Gay, which is named after his mom. And I don't
know why?
What's that?
You know why? She's super gay. Dumbest joke. Everyone knows the Enola Gay. Do you know the other one?
No. I wasn't the Enola Gay twice?
No, there's 2 separate planes.
Okay.
The other one was called Boxcar.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Now you know.
Well, now I know. Thanks, Aaron. So I think you just covered the board. I was hitting everybody with brand new knowledge they might not have known, and then you just gave them their random.
I had to say something.
You have to bring something to the
So, if they break up, honestly,
the
interesting thing to me in this episode, like this is a great album. I think it's good. I think it's a little dark. It's not something I would throw on. And these songs to me best for my personal taste.
Yeah,
fit best in like a 500 song playlist.
Yeah.
Like mixed in, because it's such a pure flavor.
Well, yeah, it's a very concentrated. It's
like nobody eats just green peppers.
It's like it's the same way like when you get like a depression pill, how it could be based off of natural remedies, but it's the scientific version and it's down to like a concentrate.
Yeah,
that's what this album is: depression and kind of giving up down to a concentrate. It's kind of what it is.
See, the interesting part of this episode to me almost has nothing to do with this album or this band.
Right.
It's you. Like, I'm fascinated why this is such a square peg, square hole thing for you.
Well, I mean, that was the thing is like, I didn't I didn't even know this album was coming out, so it wasn't like I was asking for it type of thing. I just think that I resonate a lot with him. Like I said, the one song where he's talking about how he doesn't mean to be always so sad, and it's just he wants to be good, he just doesn't know how to get it out. Like to me, I was like, oh my god, like that's like screaming out to me. Like I completely get what he's saying with that type of thing. I have a lot. I tend to really get where he's coming from. When I was in a band, I didn't really like interacting with the people. I liked the attention, but like I never really like, you know, wanted like my private life to be personal. They're the exact same way. This band, they don't give interviews, and this isn't done on purpose. They're not like trying to create this like
enigma.
It's just who they are, and because of that, it's so not fake. It resonates, and I think that's why they became who they were. It's not.
You don't think they're fake in any way?
No, I don't think so at all.
Really?
Yeah, at all. I think they're 110% who they are, and like that's what the incredible part is. And like I was really into the Movie Life album that came out this week, and I was reading a couple interviews, and Rat, who was the drummer in I Am the Avalanche, he's from Florida, and he used to hang out with us a lot and help us with our
he's a buddy of yours
band stuff. Yeah, I would say like we were friends, like not buddy, but like I know him. If I ran into him today, like you'd remember, we'd start talking.
You'd get coffee.
Him and Vinny were giving, because he's now the drummer in the new Movie Life album. Him and Vinny, he also did drum work for this brand new album, which I think is like I want to.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah. Next time I see him, I want to, because I saw him on Facebook post that. I want to be like, yo, let's talk, motherfucker. You've been so close to my son. So they were mentioning, they were like, yeah, this looks like it could be the last brand new album. And Vinny was like, it kind of bums. And like, it was kind of like, I think Vinny was like, he almost was like, come on, we're here for a Movie Life interview and you're asking me about brand new. But I also think like they're just that type of band that even he wants to throw his 2 cents. And he's like, I really hope this isn't the end for them. This is one band that said like, oh, how does everybody do it? Yeah, okay, we're going to do it this way. And you guys either like it or you're not. And if we're still around in 20 years, you guys liked it, and thanks. And that's literally where they're at. Like they do, this album came out on their own record label. They started their own label that has nobody else on it. It's just them when they put out their shit. Like, why would you do it any other way? You have nobody giving you notes.
Honestly, to me, they are the Kevin Smith of music.
Yeah, no, it's like it's a very,
and I mean that both as a compliment and a slight insult.
Yeah,
like they're not talking to anybody but the audience they already have.
Yeah, no, I mean, but that's the whole thing. Is I disagree. They've each album is so different.
Yeah,
the fact that they're able to keep everybody to the next album, they also gain a lot each time they were doing it. Like, you know what I mean?
I just find it fascinating how I had never heard of them.
Well, they're like a cult. Like, you know what I mean? Like Kevin Smith, he's a little too mainstream.
I would say he's pretty cultish now.
Now, exactly.
It's like they had some moments.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's like almost like their Clerks was like your favorite weapon, and then Dogma, and then they kind of like did, what was the
Chasing Amy,
and then after that it's kind of like.
Then it's Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, which is literally a cartoon.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, that actually is a pretty good analogy. But I mean, I just like, oh my god, man, I just can't get enough of it. This album, though, I think is incredible.
It is really good. Like I don't have any super strong opinions or feelings almost either way on it.
Right.
Of like, oh yeah, I can tell objectively it's good. There's a couple of songs I like. I do kind of get annoyed because I feel like it never shifts out of first gear. Like I feel like it ramps up a little bit, but like when you want to like kick it up a fucking notch, it never fucking does it.
Yeah, I could say like I took it more of like it's like a slow burn into 451, which is the second to last song. And that's clearly, in my opinion, that's the masterpiece of the album. I think that's one of their best songs. It's probably
a great song.
One of the best choruses they've ever.
But even
written.
that was not a super epic.
But what I'm trying to say is like I think building up into that is pretty good. And now I've actually started to like this week really analyze the album, which I know like you didn't do. You listened to it.
Yeah, honestly, and it was hard to listen to only because there's so many fucking movie clips.
Well,
there's so many songs that have like long ass fucking dialogue parts that annoy me.
The clips are only in 2 or 3 of the songs.
But they're so long.
They are long, but they're in there for a reason. So when it starts off and it's talking about the psychoanalysis and it's the girl kind of like talking off vague and everything, and it's very hipsterish is kind of what it is. And then she comes back in the 5th part or the 5th song. She's at the end of it. So basically what they're saying is the first 5 songs are kind of Jesse Lacey's brain, and it's like him after therapy looking back on all the fucking problems he had while he was in the band.
No.
Each song is basically him addressing what his issue was, apologizing for it, and making peace with his fans, and then moving on. And literally at the end of the fifth song, she's like, okay, well now we're going to try this, and then the album switches over to a different theme to close it out, which is more of them coming back around and like, basically that's the phone call. It's like, hey man, how you doing? Yeah, no, things are great with me. Things are great with me because it's a person that realized like, yeah, I'm actually gonna kill myself now. I'm released, and like now I can just kind of like say goodbye to everybody.
No, I get that, but like it's the thing of, to me, music and comedy are very similar. You can say whatever you want in a joke if you have like a deep point of view, or if you have like something really clever, or a really smart analogy or something. That's all well and good, but it has to get a laugh. And this album, to me, like it, sometimes I feel like it doesn't meet that criteria of enjoyable enough for me to actually like deal with some of your artistic bullshit. And by artistic bullshit, I'm not like downplaying. I'm saying like a lot of like your kind of like deeper stuff.
Well, I mean, this is what I could say.
It makes more sense as part of the whole than on its own, I think.
This is what and that's a great point. That's actually what I was just about to say. I think for you, the fact that you listened to this album, and you thought it was good, and I would say if I had to guess what you would grade it, I'm not going to use numbers here, but like letters, I'd say you'd say it's anywhere between a B+ to a B-, probably closer to in between B and B- is where you'd put this album. What would you say?
I would probably, you're probably right. Probably B-, C+.
Okay, I think a B- for Brand New on their fifth album, which is from you. I think that's a win. So what I'm trying to say though is like for any Brand New fan, this is an A+ album. This is something we didn't know was coming. It came, and it's really good, and it's also all brand new, and it's terrifyingly sad because it's clearly him saying goodbye. And then in a weird way, there's kind of what you've said too, where you're always like, yeah, but I could totally like why now? You know what I mean?
Why 2018?
The 2018 thing, and I think earlier I made it seem like he was doing it in 2015. He only started doing that this late spring going into summer. And he didn't do it.
But then everybody like who asked him in interviews or anything, like he won't actually answer it. Which
because
is like,
they don't do interviews though. Like they're really weird like that. But check this out. So they played the Garden for the first time this year.
Madison Square Garden?
Madison Square Garden. Like that was a very big deal for them.
How the hell did they pull that off?
They played it with Modest Mouse. They had a headlining tour.
Oh, that makes sense.
It was a co-headlining tour. And so they headlined the Garden one. And that was when they put out the T-shirts that said Brand New.
For the record, Modest Mouse is just the shitty Pixies. Go on.
No, you're absolutely right with that. And Brand New loves the Pixies, and they also really love Modest Mouse. He actually, in one of the songs that it's I think the number 9th song on this track, I'll get the name for it in a second, where he's actually referencing every Brand New album and major songs from the Brand New anthology. He also talks about Float On. So he says, then we'll just float on.
But you mean that one that's half Pixies, half Franz Ferdinand?
Yeah. And he's like, basically that's like his like nod to Modest Mouse.
I don't know what it is. I don't like Modest Mouse.
I mean, I don't love them. I don't hate them. I definitely think they're a unique band. I think what they do is very, Modest Mousey. But I do know from liking Brand New as much as I do that when I was hearing about their change from their first album to their second album, going into Deja Entiendo, they had got to play with bigger bands, and they started playing with outer genre bands, and Modest Mouse is one of them. And they saw like when you're in a band, you really get to know another band. It's when you go on tour with them, obviously, because you get to see them off stage and you get to hang out with them. But the time you really get to know them as a band is when you, the sound guy, and the bartender are in the venue and they're sound checking. That's when you get to see them as a band, because that's when you get to see like what songs they like, what their inside jokes are. They might play Marilyn Manson's "The Beautiful People" from start to finish, and that's their sound check song. That tells you a lot about a band that's Bright Eyes that only plays an acoustic, and you see them like sound checking to a heavy metal song. So the one thing that really resonated with them was like once they went on tour with Modest Mouse, they started to realize like, oh wow, like we're used to all these like punk bands that are, their warm up song is "Damn It." And then you get to see like other bands that aren't, enclosed into a genre, and they get to branch out. I think that was really influential into them actually becoming this band that changes every album.
No, that's really insightful.
But
and while you were thinking of all that, or you were kind of laying out that goal in my head, I'm just like, no, Modest Mouse is like 20% the Pixies if they never did heroin. And then it's like, no, sorry, it's 40% the Pixies if they never did heroin. So like shitty Pixies.
Yeah, okay.
It's 40%. Oh, I just had it in my brain. Oh, it's gone. Oh, and it's like 20% the Shins.
Oh, that's awesome.
Isn't it? It has a very heavy Shins vibe.
There is definitely feels for the Shins.
And then the rest of it is Who Gives a Fuck, because Third Planet's the only good song they have.
Neutral Milk Hotel is another band that they like.
Another band that I can't fucking stand.
That's a.
You know why?
Why is that?
Oh, let's write a sad album about a war we didn't fight in. Oh, it's an airplane over the sea.
Which, by the way,
that album also just everybody told me how fucking good it is, and like it's amazing. So I never liked it. You know what I mean? It's Breaking Bad. It's like, oh, you would love this.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you got to get over that, though, man. Like, this, like, just because people like it doesn't mean you can't like it. You know what I mean?
It's when, like, so many people tell me that. And also, like, I tried listening to Neutral Milk Hotel.
Yeah.
And it literally just sounds like sad bullshit acoustic
music.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not really talking about Neutral Milk Hotel. I was talking about Breaking Bad.
No, Breaking Bad, it was also the thing of, I don't like ever watching any show that's like the water cooler show.
Okay.
Because I don't want to talk to people at work.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. So
Brand New, though, here, it just clicked in my head, like, what Brand New is and why, like, there's, like, not, like, intentional resistance with, like, me wanting to go really deep into them, but I realized what it was.
Okay, what is it?
It's like you're a kid who's really into manga or anime.
Oh, wow.
And you're like...
No, dude, you just nailed it.
I'm really worried, like, I don't want to walk through that door because now I don't want to be one of those kids that's really into anime.
You nailed it on the head, though.
Yeah.
Like, you just totally nailed it. Because, like, when I was in my journalism class, there was a kid in my class. I was the publishing editor, and he was the editor. And he was really into manga. And he would just try to get me into it. He's like, oh, it's all backwards. You have to read it from left to right, blah, blah, blah. Or right to left.
Did you love how they say that? Like, and here's the thing really quick to anyone listening. We're not knocking anime or manga. It's just like, that is your own personal little world. But I do love that anyone who's really into manga is like, no, you read it backwards. And they almost try to, like, that's a selling point. I'm like, that just sounds like annoying.
Yeah, it's like annoying. No, I know what you're saying. Like, the problem is like, I'm so in that I don't even realize like how fanatical I sound about it.
No.
And I just can't get why you don't get it. That's like kind of it.
Like, it's almost that thing of like, there's so many things you've accepted as that ultimate truth that like you don't even realize were like things you had to accept to begin with.
Yeah, no, that makes absolutely perfect sense.
I'm not knocking it. Like, I honestly, I like whenever you talk about Brand New because I'm like, oh yeah, okay, so he does like things. Like, that is a thing John Bryan is capable of doing.
Oh, I like a lot of things, but yeah, they're...
Okay, he does love things. That is a thing besides his dog he is capable of doing.
It is a feeling I can produce sometimes.
Because honestly, talking about Brand New, your dog Bronx...
Yeah. Well, that's why it bums me with Brand New.
I think that's actually the only two things you love.
I mean, that's why it bums me with Brand New, though. And it's like, it kind of, like, they kind of fit into my life because, like, my past 2 years haven't been the best. And so it is kind of fitting that I'm going to round that out with Brand New eventually coming back out now after a 9-year vacancy of a new album. But, oh, by the way, it's a suicide note, and they're done. So, by the way, we didn't tell you we were putting it out. Came out as a surprise. And we're also not going to tell you what it's about. But it's pretty clear if you just listen to the lyrics. It's like, we're done. And
do you feel like you're stalling in life?
No. I don't feel like I'm stalling or anything like that. I just think it's been a rough 2 years with things going on personal-wise. And to me, it's almost like Brand New knows they need to be the band that does come out now to close it off and also end their career in a weird way. To me,
that thing of
it seems like it fits in my life.
It's this whole thing that, like, you know how television shows, how you get really annoyed when, like, it's like the 5th season of something and then they just cancel it and they don't get a, like, tie off, like, oh, and they go get married and that guy dies or whatever.
Yeah, because, like, at the end of the day, what you're saying is, like, I was involved with that show, but I'm not important enough for the network to give that show its closure with me. So
yeah, I'm not an important enough of a viewer to this network.
Yeah.
The thing about Brand New is, like, it's almost like they do know this is their last season.
Yeah.
But every television show that ever gets their last season, they almost try to send it off like in like a pleasant way where everyone's kind of happy and they tie everything together.
Yeah.
That is not this album.
No.
This album is not like, and now we're all going to be okay and everything's all tied together.
I'll tell you what.
It's honestly like, no, it's over.
I'm just happy they didn't Irish exit it. That would have been the real Brand New move.
Oh, where they just like disappear?
Well, it'd just be like in a couple of years, somebody's like, so when you guys coming out? They're like, oh, we broke up in 2014. And it's like, wait, what? It's like, no, yeah, we broke up in 2014. Wait, your Wikipedia says you guys, oh, we didn't tell anybody we broke up. But yeah, we've been done since 2014. That would be the ultimate. That's what I thought they were going to do to us, to be honest.
How do you know they're still not gonna?
Well, I mean, that's true. They're going to come out. This wasn't a Brand New album, by the way. It's our new band.
Old New?
Same stuff.
Honestly, how happy would it make me if they did like keep going with like a whole new sound and direction? They call themselves Old New.
I wouldn't shock me if they did something like that. But here's the thing. So you've said multiple times, like, what makes me think this is really it? And that's a great question to ask, to be honest with you, because I've already told you they've had full albums come out and they've thrown them in the trash, even though they leaked. And recently too, during that hiatus between Daisy and now, they actually went back into that old album that leaked before Devil and God.
Yeah.
And they actually recorded the songs professionally and put them out. So the demo versions were out, and then they actually went in and did 3 of them. There was 9 demos. They went in and did 3 of them again and redid them as an actual album song and put that out. So people started to think like maybe like they're going to put out that entire album now. I was like, done. And then they told everybody they wrote an album, they threw it away. And they never have officially said this is an album. They said there's an album coming out in October.
Here's the thing. You're like, they've never officially said. From what I understand,
Yeah.
they don't ever officially say shit.
They don't, but that's
they
the
just
thing.
send you a burned CD with a fucking mountain
Right,
on
but
it
I mean,
and be
that's
like,
the-
figure it out.
Ooh, that's what it is though.
Fucking annoying. It's fucking annoying.
No, but it's great if you like them. If you like them, it's like that's fucking cool, man. You know what I mean?
It is, but sometimes like it almost feels like the thing of like I don't know. It feels like if like Brand New was your roommate, they were just always talking fucking riddles. Are we out of milk? The sun is over Miami. It's like, answer the fucking question, Jared. Like that's kind of how I feel with them sometimes. Like just fucking like just yes or fucking no. Brand New. Like just pick a fucking thing. Like, I feel like they're so non-committal that it annoys the shit out of me.
Well, that's the thing is they don't have to play by your games. You know what I mean?
Not my game. It's the thing of like it's just annoying. I'm like, okay, I don't care that much.
That's awesome.
Like, because if I cared more, it'd be interesting.
I want to point out some things I picked up. No, you're completely fine. I want to point out some things I picked up on this album.
Okay,
and just bear with me because I know like you don't love them the same way I do, but I think that people like Brand New. Like this is you're talking to a Brand New expert here. Like this is somebody that studied their
So
lyrics.
this is going to be a little Brand New 101 with John Bryan.
Yeah, I mean, like basically though, what I'm going to go here is so they've been pretty straightforward with what's going on with their type of stuff. Although in the first album they called out "Taking Back Sunday" in a song, with the lyrics, which I think is hilarious and fantastic. And I finally figured out what that was about. So like I was doing some research on that, and basically Jesse Lacey liked a girl. And John Nolan, who was the backup singer of Taking Back Sunday, he's the guitarist, he made out with the girl one night. Jesse Lacey got very upset, and it caused a rift between the two bands. And so that's why he was calling out shade in one of his songs.
He's throwing shade?
Throwing shade. So, and what he did is he took lyrics from Taking Back Sunday talking about how somebody's a close friend, and he used those same lyrics and he used it in a song of somebody stabbing you in the back. And he used that as like, how can you be my friend? And this is what you said, and you're a piece of shit. Like that was his like angle to that. But it's one of those things though, Aaron, where think about it. Brand New is the biggest pop punk band. Taking Back Sunday is another big pop punk band. Everyone's cross pollinating. They're both listening. And one day you're in your car and somebody goes, whoa, 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 hold on. Press pause. And it's a CD, so you can't just go back to it real quick. Oh, damn it, you just skipped all the way back to the beginning. Okay, fast forward back into it. And you go, is that the line from Taking Back Sunday? No. Yeah, is that the line from the third song? No, it's not. No, dude, you're just hearing shit. And it's like, dude, you always make up shit like that. It's like, no, hold on. Get Taking Back Sunday out. They have to open up the book, flip through the CDs.
Zip.
Yeah, just flip through it, pull it out, pull out that, put it in.
Grab my fucking case, mate.
Where today it would be like, hey Siri, what are the lyrics to 70 times 7? The lyrics to 70 times 7. And like that's what I'm saying. So like this was like a big thing. And you find out. But like that was the beginning. That was kind of the beginning of like what that is though. And it's kind of pretty cool.
No, it's just like that one time Spider-Man fought the Hulk and you're like, yeah. Like honestly, is Brand New a band or like are their own little comic book universe where I'm supposed to know characters? And like, no, that was actually retconned because that album actually didn't get released.
Oh my gosh.
And so like they actually killed that one off.
So I was telling you the other night about Limousine, which is that's like the most brutal song.
Yeah, about the dead girl?
Dead girl. It was a
I'm almost saying this nonchalant because that one actually I did listen to that song and I don't want to talk about it.
It's brutal, right? He brings her up in this album. And it's really weird. And it's the one song where he kind of like closes out with everybody. And it's like his last lines in that song are her. And it's really like, that's just somebody that's like, I think resonated with them. Katie Flynn. But anybody, we're not going to go into it, but there is going to be an episode that we probably do dissect this song. I don't want to do it. Actually, we were thinking about doing it this episode. I told you I couldn't do it. And I sent you over my notes for the first 2 verses. And like, you didn't even get back to me.
3 pages of notes. And you're like...
3 pages of notes, and 12 lines of lyrics.
Yeah. And you're like, it's not finished. Like I'm about halfway done. I'm like,
halfway.
Oh
I was like 1/4 of the way done.
Honestly, the reason I didn't want to do that one, and like you agreed too, because like you didn't want to go there emotionally. My part, I was like, this is a comedy show overall. Like really,
but this is Brand New's episode, so we all deserve to be miserable, Aaron.
Yeah, but I feel like
we have to do it like Jesse Lacey.
I feel like it's a comedy show, and like instead of watching like Scooby-Doo 3,
Yeah.
we watched like Werner Herzog. Like the sound of the death of the trash can is the urine of life leaving your soul. I'm like, damn it, Werner.
Come on, man. I just wanted to listen to a podcast and get away.
But that's actually the episode that this guy started in, and he came from this.
Now
album.
I need a benzo after this to fucking not
You know
kill
what I mean?
myself.
Like the
Yeah.
manga and comic book thing really is like the way you
Well,
talk about
again,
it.
too, like you're talking to like somebody that's slightly autistic, and I'm just like, you know what I mean? Like
No, totally. And it's
I'm
the-
hyper focused.
Honestly, I think like my, not frustration, but like my emotion in this, what it comes from is,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm kind of constantly letting you down because the most I can do is like, that's nice, dear. Like I almost feel like I'm grandma.
No, but it's
you.
okay. It's okay. Like I said, this episode's more for me and the brand new fans that are gonna listen to it. Which, hello, by the way, out there.
Welcome, brand new fans.
I appreciate you guys, and I'm doing my best here with this guy, but it's not easy.
Like I'm not hostile towards it.
No, you're not. You're not
Like,
at all. No, I know.
This isn't like starting line where like I was texting you throughout the week. I'm like, how does anybody like this?
Yeah, which we're not even get started on that one. But
No, well, I came to a good place with them. I'm like, oh yeah, when they're actually doing what they want to do, they're good. When they're not, they suck.
well, no, that's what I said to you. And I said the thing with the starting line, which was episode 8.
Doesn't matter. They'll find it.
Yeah.
Scroll and then starting line. That's
Exactly. The thing with that though, you kind of redeemed yourself was because you did talk a lot of shade. You threw a lot of shade. You talked a lot of smack. But the compliments you did give to the album, they were all differently written than the other songs. So like when the band wrote a song together, you didn't like it. When Kenny Vasoli wrote the song by himself, you thought that was a great song, which were also the most emo songs on the album too. Which
Yeah,
is
because they're an
interesting.
emo band, but they're.
Interesting.
Here's the thing about the starting line. Yeah. They're still not my favorite. I'm not big on emo.
Yeah.
They are a great emo band. They are a shit pop punk band.
No, it's true. They were a Newfound Glory knockoff band, and then they turned emo. Yeah,
But
they
then you
found
get
their
to the
own
back
thing.
half of that album, and you got weird ass, super young Kenny playing just an acoustic guitar, talking about some girl
That,
he wants to bang. I'm like, yeah, that's authentic.
That episode is great too because we break down kind of we begin to break down kind of what screwed their career because they were supposed to be one of the bands and like they got really sidetracked by everything. It's too bad for them. I felt bad. So with the brand new thing though, you were saying though is
It's almost like you're talking about a sport I've never played, and I can't even barely keep up in the conversation because you're like, well, it's just like on Devil and God. I'm like, I never saw Devil and God. Is that the one where fucking Paul Walker dies? You're like, no, that's 5. I'm like, damn it. Honestly, I could talk to you in just as much depth about Fast and the Furious.
oh, that's funny, man.
And at a certain point, you'd be like, yeah, I kind of know the first one a little, but then you're
Oh
like,
okay.
You're like,
okay.
Ludacris is in it? I'm like, of course Ludacris is in it.
So do you want me to back off and bring it back to the middle
No,
here for you?
no. I'm enjoying it because it's fascinating to me because, like I said, you're not a man who like. I'm not trying to paint you with this like wide brush of just all black like misery,
Right.
but you're not a guy who gets excited.
Isn't it weird though? Like the most depressing band gets me the happiest.
Yeah, that is really fucking weird.
Right? Like I'm on tonight. Like my first segment, I was like in mania. I was like talking a mile a
No,
minute.
honestly, I kept feeling like during the first part of the show when like you're kind of go through like the history of their albums.
Yeah.
I feel like I was almost like tugging your sleeve, like let's
Well, yeah,
let's
no, you
play.
apologized. We got off the air, and you came into the kitchen before you poured your Pepsi Max into the really fancy glass, which I thought was so classy.
To my enemies.
To my enemies, belch. You're like, man, I'm really sorry to mean to keep getting in your way. I was like, no, it's a podcast that we both host. So obviously, I felt bad because I was just like, I was gone. I was like, okay, Aaron, I'll be back later. I'll talk to you when we get done with this movie.
Yeah. Well, it's like I'm like, let's play touch football, and you're like, no, I have to go on this run.
So-
I have to go on this run alone.
Yeah, no, I had to get it out. So I just want to really quick just kind of go over a couple things. And I'm not going to get into major detail with it because at the end of the day, only people that love brand new are going to care. But I think there's some interesting aspects they did with it.
So they're only going to care about the brand new.
Fucking, I hate you.
Dude, I went 20 minutes. I deserve a handshake.
You did. I give you the handshake.
You know how I love like really bad dumb jokes.
No, you're doing great. So basically, this is what happens. They send the burnt CD out to people. They don't tell people what it is. And inside the CD booklet is quotes. And the quotes are the chess moves from HAL from 2001: A Space Odyssey when the robot beats the human in chess. And the name of this album is called Science Fiction. And if you look at the first album of Brand New, the name of the first album is Your Favorite Weapon. And on the front of it is a chess move. It's the king, and it's knocked over, and it's a checkmate. And they included the part where the robot beats the human from A Space Odyssey 2001. And I think that is symbolizing that the robot has finally beat the human. So that first like chess thing, which I'm sure when they put that out, that was just more of like Jesse Lacey trying to be intellectual. And he's like, love is a chess game and you beat me in checkmate. So this is my album back to you, you bitch, about why I hate
I actually
you.
have a metaphor for what that really was that
What's that?
you haven't even considered.
What's that?
He's referring to how rock music is dying, electronic music is the only thing that's going to exist in the future, and now rock music is obsolete.
Oh my God, he absolutely, because as their albums go on, they actually start to kind of defend rock music too. That's really
but also
interesting.
rock and roll. Honestly, if you go like top 40 music on the radio today, no one's playing instruments. It's all
Yeah.
hip hop, R&B, and like synth pop.
He could have been making a claim at that. That's fucking.
That's why,
fascinating.
and I think that's why he's like.
So you're
the
saying,
computer has
but
won.
you're saying now though that's why he used Hal, and then I'm tying it back to the first album with the
because
checkmate.
Hal killed him playing chess, which his first album was
Oh my
chess.
God, that's amazing. Because like that's what I was going to
That's
say.
no longer relevant.
Because like what I was trying to say to the fans out here is I don't think when he used that chess piece as part of their designing package that's what they were thinking. Like, oh, we're going to eventually put out this. But I think I think now the symbolism he tied in, that's amazing though.
I think
that
he
kind
was
of is.
watching 2001,
No, but that's kind of is because like kind of their cynicism is been like music sucks now. Everybody like 303, the band that you fucking hate and you don't get.
They have one good dumb dance song.
Brand new.
Yeah.
Beyond hates them.
Yeah.
And they kind of got to a point where like they were almost like that's part of the
quick,
reason
I
why
just have
they
to get this out because you brought them up and it pisses me off. 303, you know what they should have been in the fucking annals of history?
What's that?
You remember the song Barbie Girl by Aqua? that's what 303 should have been. It should
Hello,
have been
Barbie. Let's go, Barbie.
Yeah.
Hello,
303,
Barbie.
that one song they had
Right.
should have been like 10 years later. Is like you remember, like
But
you put it almost like nostalgia
just to
because
put
it's
it-
so dumb.
just-
But they have a fucking career.
Okay, but just to put it into perspective, this is why they have a career. So a record label looked at this and go, we have two white guys and they can drive around in a Hyundai to tour and they use a MacBook as their
Did
music.
you just can buy a Hyundai and a Honda?
Yeah, I did.
You should just say a car.
Well, I wanted to make it like a small car.
Yeah.
A Kia, that's what I want to say?
I feel like you won't mess that one up.
So there's there's two guys and they're driving a Kia and they're basically a record label looks at these guys and goes, wait, they have no instruments. They just
on
need
purpose.
they just need a MacBook and they can do their email to the record label and to the fans from their MacBook, and then they can plug it in and they can play their music, and kids will pay the same money to go in and see them live.
Yeah.
And they like it more. Fuck yeah, let's put this band out. And all those kids that got into that fucking ruined everything. That's how you get a band like 303 or Breathe Carolina. Like they're not good. They're fucking. They are.
Keller joke in the middle of their only like halfway listenable fucking song.
They're fucking horrible, man. I agree with you on that. But
They
no,
are
brand
just
new
human
had
trash.
problems with that, and like that's kind of interesting. I never looked at it like that.
No, that quote is exactly saying is like the robot
Right.
has killed.
But also,
what
you
this
have to
is.
take into account, though, that's also the point of the movie, where it symbolizes that now the robot Hal is in charge, and the people are now in trouble because basically everything's run by Hal, and he's now going to psychologically mindfuck them until they end up dying.
Oh yeah, musical artists won't be necessary.
So now
anymore.
get this: get what year did A Space Odyssey happen? What year did Brand New's first album come out? Coincidence? I think not.
I think that was a little extra luck.
Well, yeah, I think definitely Jesse Lacey like had a boner when he walked in. He's like, "Yo, guys, like, hey, Jesse, are you back from the cabin? Yeah, I think I have the new album done, and guess what?
Yeah, Shiny's in the truck.
And so, so the last song on Science Fiction. Again, I'm not going to break down this album because I like this band way too much, and this podcast can only be an hour to 90 minutes long. Is kind of where we try to keep it.
And there's only so sad we're allowed to make the listener.
And I, Aaron already told you, I with 12 lines wrote 4 pages of notes. So.
In PDF, like he even like put it into like a document format. He didn't just send me like a text or an email. It was like no, and it had like bold and underline and arrows, and it was like inside job. I'm like, whoa!
It had definitions. I think they're using grace in 3 terms of the word here. Let me explain. Term number 1.
K, herein referred to after as the undersigned.
That's funny,
like
man.
in legalese.
So the last album, or last song on this album, is kind of Jesse Lacey's Goodbye. And if you read the lyrics, it's basically him after 10 to 11 tries of trying to figure out the right way to do it, he's finally got it down.
Yeah.
And that was the main thing with Brand New too, is they always closed all their albums, no matter how hard rock or how soft rock they were, with a very long and intricate slow burn song out. That's kind of how they always did it. So the last track on this album, and Brand New is always going to be kind of they go out kind of big, and it's Batter Up. And there's a couple ways to look at it.
Isn't that also a song by Nelly and the Saint Lunatics?
I don't know, Aaron. I'll have to look into it.
I'll take my answer off the air.
And so this is like it's really morose, more morose than whatever. But this is kind of, I think, Jesse Lacey like coming around now, and he's finally like realized, like he's accepted that this is kind of it. And So the batter up, it could be taken as like, it's kind of like him saying like, okay, whoever's next, like batter up, you guys can come out. Or you could take it as like, he's kind of just saying with life is like, none of it really matters. And it's just an at bat. And this entire time I've been looking at all my at bats as like the game. And I'm now finally like realized that like, it's life. And just like, you're going to get back up to bat again and you might hit a home run or you might strike out, but it doesn't matter because you're going to get back up to bat. And so it's kind of like two ways to kind of see where he's taking from it. Yeah. And the thing that I thought was really interesting too, and I don't think that this was by accident, was I told you that Eddie Reyes started Taking Back Sunday. And then Jesse Lacey wasn't Taking Back Sunday, and he quit Taking Back Sunday. He started Brand New. Well, before he started Brand New, he started The Rookie Lot, and it was based off of The Sandlot. It was kind of like the play on the name. But it's a baseball theme. And, you know, it could be a coincidence that, you know, he's using baseball here. But I do think that it's kind of a nod to the beginning of Brand New with The Rookie Lot. And it's kind of like him saying, like, we started with, like, a baseball name, and, like, I'm going to end it with a baseball song kind of type of deal.
That totally could be.
And what was also kind of crazy with The Rookie Lot was Brandon, who was the guitarist in The Rookie Lot, ended up leaving, and he joined The Movie Life, which was the band that Eddie Reyes started, and then left to join Taking Back Sunday. And when he joined The Movie Life with Vinnie Corona, he basically made it more poppy, and that became the Movie Life that I ended up starting to like, because it wasn't the hardcore Movie Life anymore. It was more of the hardcore pop punk Movie Life.
Yeah. And
it's just incredible that you have Movie Life, Taking Back Sunday, Brand New, and these three bands have all shared multiple members. They're all, without a doubt, like the holy trinity of the like Strong Island, Long Island, hardcore, post-hardcore movement, which became
post-hardcore emo.
Movement. Yeah. And so in a weird way, like this show like started off where like, you know, we were kind of like, oh wow, a lot of bands are getting back together, they're doing reunion tours, there's definitely nostalgia, and like, you know, we like this type of music, you know, we can comment on it and we kind of like, you know, be funny with it too, and I think that's why we like it.
Yeah. So
the song that we're playing right now, I kind of look at this as like, this is the eulogy of the 2000 to, you know, present pop punk emo movement that ended up happening with Taking Back Sunday, Brand New, Newfound Glory,
Fall Out Boy.
Yeah. And like, this is kind of this is like one of the big guys that they did it their own way. They didn't do it the traditional way. They didn't go onto the radio. They didn't become like Fall Out Boy. You always make fun of how they went really techno, and like the Fall Out Boy isn't the Fall Out Boy.
Fall Out Boy 2. The first Fall Out Boy died. I don't know if you know.
We don't have. I mean, I can't really knock Blink because it is Matt, Mark, and Travis.
The original Blink.
Yeah, like, so I was going to say with the one guy, Tom, but it doesn't really matter. But what I'm trying to say is, like, these were one of the guys from the start to the finish. And, like, this is them now ending it on their own terms. And in a weird way, it kind of, like, it's almost like the friend you know. And, like, you know he's kind of sick and he's going to go out on his own, like, he's going to basically, he's not going to keep doing the medicine anymore. He's kind of, like, holding a party. He's like, listen, guys, like, I'm just going to stop taking the medicine, so I'm not going to be around. And this is kind of, like, the last time you're all going to get to see me. And it's kind of that feeling, I think, that a lot of people are having listening to this album and about this band and about what they represented. And it's interesting to me.
Kind of like the death of some people's 20s.
No, that's what it is. It's kind of like, this is it. This is the closure. Yeah. Like, this is like and like, I think it's in a way, the way that they did this, I just got goosebumps, but I think it's brilliant. Especially hearing the song underneath it is like, it does have that feel.
Yeah.
Like hearing this song and like what I'm saying and the implications of what this is and what this means.
No, I saw a visible like shiver go down your back when you like.
Well, no, I mean, like, I'm thinking about everything right now. Like, I'm just like, I'm thinking of the first time I heard Jude Law on A Semester Abroad, the time they disappointed me with Deja and Tandu, only to make me realize like they didn't disappoint me. They actually expanded my horizons.
They pushed you.
They pushed me. They challenged me, and I didn't walk away, and I stuck with them. And then they rewarded me with Devil and God, but then they went like all like into like the theories of religion and what life is and like what does it even matter, and then they came out with that piece of shit Daisy that everybody's like, why? And you're just like, it's what they do. Like, you know, they're never gonna do what you want them to do, but you don't want them to go away. And it's just kind of like thinking like, this is the last time we're gonna hear anything from them. It's just sad.
Like weirdly having this play underneath is like yeah. We all kind of got to grow up sometime.
Yeah, it's like you're gonna have to eventually face it.
There's we don't tell the audience this, and we've mentioned it before, and I've always actually edited it out of the episode.
Yeah.
we always listen to music when we record. We just don't play it throughout the episode, obviously.
Yeah, and we always listen to like up music. Like we usually kid around. It's usually like Good Charlotte.
There is a Spotify radio station John and I have where it's a lot of like super upbeat songs.
Yeah.
But playing this underneath,
It changes
I feel like
everything.
we have to leave it in the episode because like otherwise our tone without this playing underneath is like got really somber.
It changes everything though, right?
Let's let some of this play and then we'll come back into our
Yeah,
verdicts.
let's go to a break.
Cause your sex takes me to paradise. Yeah, your sex takes me to paradise and it shows. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Cause you make me feel like I've been locked out of heaven for too long. For too long. Yeah, you make me feel like I've been locked out of heaven for too long, for too long.
All right, so we played a little bit of the the brand new, and we came back in on some Bruno Mars.
Yeah, you were right. We kind of had to kind of get happy again. You know,
Well-
turn it the other way.
I don't like to go behind the curtain too much. That was a 30-minute break for you and I.
Yeah, no, we had to take a little bit of a break there. I didn't realize what exactly it was saying, and then when we heard the music under it, how spot on it was. It was kind of
I almost feel like you
A
were
weird
in
moment.
like the denial phase.
yeah. I think that was like kind of like I'm probably gonna cry tonight. I think that was like kind of like when I really realized like it's over for them, and that's also kind of it is like them like kind of ending it for everybody else
Yeah.
in a weird way, in their own unique,
But like John
brand
got,
new
like-
type of way.
Well,
man.
playing that song underneath did not help.
Well, no, because like I had the theory that was him kind of like coming around and like it was like 12 songs of him trying to figure out how to end this, and that was the song that he did it with. And then the only thing I was trying to make a point was like batter up, and the baseball reference was probably something to the rookie lot, and then also like how is he saying it? I didn't realize like, oh no, this is the eulogy to pop punk from the early 2000s. This is it right here.
Yeah,
This is it. That's
it's,
crazy.
sorry, everyone our age, we're adults.
Yeah, this is it. It's like, and the whole thing with brand new has been the struggle between you're alive and how overwhelmingly hard that can sometimes be. And you don't always have to feel like that, but I do think healthily you have to address that from time to time and take the goods with the bads and that type of thing. I think that's kind of what brand new was. Even though they were always there, they did kind of bring you there to let you know, like,
Yeah.
you can go there, but you don't have to stay here, and you can leave, but we're always going to be here there. And I think that was kind of what their niche was. So that's interesting. I'm interested to see what people think about this, though.
Oh, me too. But that's why we had to play. Like, I was honestly
Which,
like,
by the way, though, Bruno Mars, man.
we were planning on we were going to come back in on 451, which
Yeah.
is the closest thing to like a jam off this album.
Yeah, and even that.
And John started playing. I'm like, no, happier. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what is the happiest thing you have in
Yeah.
your iTunes? And you're like, this. And he starts playing Bruno Mars. I'm like, that'll do.
Yeah, you told me you go if you hit 303, I'm going to come across this table and hurt you. And I said, I don't even have them on my iTunes, dude. And you're like, that's the right answer. So we hit Bruno Mars, and all I have to say is like everyone was upset when Michael Jackson died. He didn't die. His soul left his prosthetic nose and it crawled across to Hawaii. And it hit a little 5'1" little beaming star of energy, and
You know,
he's
it's,
back. We
I'm-
brought him to the mainland.
I'm actually going to say something that's somehow going to annoy Michael Jackson's fans more than what you just said.
What's that?
Michael Jackson was merely a Charmeleon. Bruno Mars
He's the
is a Charizard.
No, I agree with that. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I can't wait until
Uptown, funk you up.
oh my gosh. And then we were just listening to the mystical version of that, and we start talking about Bernie Mac, which we might have something in the future.
Oh, God. Just really quick, everybody out there. I know this is completely off topic, and you're like, we were talking about brand new. Why are you talking about Bernie Mac? Fucking respect the Mac. That's all we got to say.
That's all we got to say. And we
he's
might
so good.
We might have something that comes out every once in a while that kind of shows our representation towards that guy. Because Aaron and I are both in agreement. Which I didn't realize this until we had this conversation just now before. But we both appreciate and understand the Bernie Mac. I started telling you what I thought he was to the Ocean's 11 series, and you would completely finish my sentence for me.
And I said my theory about what the
which
Bernie
is-
Mac show was.
Which is hilarious. Which we'll talk. We're not going to blow anything for you, but we're going to have another sideshow coming up. And it's going to be a delight.
This might take longer than it took us to find warheads, but we'll think about it.
Yeah, and then the whole time we were listening to Bruno Mars, I just kept picturing Jesse Lacey trying to hang himself, and he can't find a load-bearing beam, so he just keeps falling to the ground. And everyone's like, Jesse, it doesn't have to be this hard. Just come over here and watch this guy. He can sing, he can dance, he can act. He's a triple threat.
And he's like, no!
Oh, man.
And then Mystical comes in. Get right in this motherfucker.
All right, so let's close it off, Aaron. I don't know what to do here. Are we doing like I don't know. I don't really want to rate these guys because anything
Too
less than
bad.
a 5 is I'm going to be upset.
We
but-
had to rate everybody else. It's not fair. If you're not willing to rate your favorite band, we shouldn't have rated anybody.
Well, I'm going to say I'm rescinding all our rates then. All right, go ahead. What do you got to say? What's your final?
This album, I'm a guy that doesn't come around to lyrics quickly. This album, so I can literally only tell you how good this is musically.
Yeah.
If you replaced every single time he talked with just his voice and the melody, what he is doing, the teacher from Charlie Brown.
Yeah.
That's where my rating comes from.
Yeah.
This album is good. This album is super fucking 90s, which is great.
It's refreshing in that sense. In a weird
Absolutely.
way.
If you had to condense this album, like, you know how like you can buy lemonade at a store and you buy a can and it's frozen, it's just lemonade, and then you mix it in with just a bunch of water, and that's how
Yeah.
you make homemade lemonade.
Yeah.
If you took this album and you like pressurized it and compressed it
Yeah.
into one song, it would be Something in the Way by Nirvana.
Yeah, no, I mean that's actually pretty cool, man. That's actually a compliment.
Yeah, but like if you listen to the song Something in the Way, that emotional feeling and resonance of that song is this album, but it's like almost like stretched out so you can see more of the fine texture and detail of that emotion.
Right. Okay.
And then it's really good. Like sonically, it's good. 451. That's right. The right name.
Yeah, that's it.
That's
the standout track in my opinion.
So I'm a third generation bassist. My dad played electric bass. My grandfather played electric bass in the 60s.
Yeah.
You know, back before like there really was electric bass in every band. So my grandfather is huge into blues. He goes to Prairie Dog Blues Festival in Wisconsin every year. He loves like real blues guys like Bernard Allison and stuff like that. So I grew up on the blues a little bit. 451 can throw down with some of the best blues out there, and I don't say that lightly. I would almost give no one that credit.
Oh yeah, no, that's actually I'm glad because Garrett doesn't really get the attention that he's a great bassist. They're all really good musicians. They're just solid.
Speaking of which, we had to do this really fast. Who's all in brand new?
Oh yeah, it's a 4-piece. Jesse Lacey is our fearless leader.
I think we said his name.
Vinny Accardi is the lead guitarist, and he's awesome. He's like the free spirit. He's got long hair. Then you have Garrett on the bass and Brian on the drums, and that's your guys right there.
Okay. I think, John, you have a lot more to say, and I want to make sure you get that time to say that because I don't want to take any time away from you because
No, I appreciate that.
you need to grieve. So I give this album 5 out of 5. I give brand new 3 out of 5.
I'll take that. At 3 out of 5, I think is an insult. But
3 out of 5 is with an asterisk because I've heard one album. And also, this entire episode, by the way, if you're a huge brand new fan at home, I need to make this clear. My opinion should mean jack shit to you because of this one thing. This is like you've watched an entire series for 20 years on television and I only saw the series finale, and I'm like, it's okay. Don't understand why he cried when she died.
Right.
Like that's literally where I'm coming from. Of like, I'm kind of walking into this ongoing story.
Yeah, no, I think 3 is fair, and I don't think brand new fans are that savage. They're cultish, but like they're not savage. You know what I mean?
Because if I gave it anything more than that, I'm lying.
Right,
I've
you
heard
would be
one
lying.
album that was good that doesn't earn you a 5.
To be honest with you, I think your score listening to their other albums only goes down because this is the album that's the least part of their aspects that you would hate, believe it or not, and that's the narcissism is down
The
very
artsy
low.
shit too.
Well, the artsy shit's turned up on this one, so that's a part on the other album.
But also, I don't listen to lyrics, so
like Devil and God doesn't have any of the artsy shit, so I think that you would appreciate it. But Devil and God is actually Devil and God. I would want to. That's probably gonna be one that we have to come back and you'll take a look at. I want to hear what your thoughts on that one are, because that one too is like it's not very narcissistic, and it's actually just a guy being like, "I'm alive. I don't know what the fuck's going on." And I'm done singing about girls. I'm done singing about high school. I'm done singing about like, emo shit. Like I need to figure this out. Let's talk. Like that's kind of what Devil and God is.
sounds good. I do also, as always, I reserve my right to change any of my reviews in the future on future episodes. But so far, 5 for the album, 3 for the band.
Right.
And Johnny Bryan going to take it away.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. This is it. So it's kind of weird. I think Aaron made a point before, like I'm kind of in denial about it, which I think is kind of true. But I also kind of am realizing, like I'm in the moment listening to it. I know like this is it. Like when I listened to the Batter Up before I started to play on that, I knew this could be the last time I hear a brand new song for the first time. I knew that. So it's it is what it is. Do I think they're gonna come out with more music? I do. I think I wouldn't be shocked if this is like another album, like, and this is just like a, to make somebody look in the other direction type of thing. And that could also just be me as a diehard fan hoping that's what it's going to be.
Now you've gone through denial, anger, and now you're on to bargaining.
Well, hopefully we don't hit wrath during this episode. It's weird for me, man. Like
Wrath isn't one of them. It's denial, anger.
That's wrath.
Depression, bargaining, acceptance.
Right, but I'm saying like I guess that's what it was. It was wrath is what I was saying is the anger.
Oh yeah, that's step 2.
Yep. So
You're doing them out of order, but no one does them in order. That's so old fashioned.
Yeah, I'm going to do like Jesse Lacey and just do it the way I want to do it. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, this is one of the most influential bands I think of the type of music that we've been covering. There's definitely other ones that are out there. We've covered them. They're very influential. But this is one of them. They did it to their own drum. They did it to their own beat. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, like all I can really say is thanks. I guess I really hope this isn't it. Like I really hope it's not.
Can I be honest?
Yeah.
I hope so too. Like, 'cause I'm literally trying to figure out a way to say this without making my typical joke, but like,
right.
I hope there is more brand new.
No, I know what you mean.
Like I only stuttered because I wanted to find a way to not have to say that.
But I mean, you have to admit, it's kind of cool how they do things. Like they don't do it the normal way. You know what I'm saying? Like for the fact that they were able to get a #1 album for this album, which I thought was great. I sent you the article. I was just happy for them. I was like, good for them. You know, like they deserve it. Like #6 was the highest they got before that. I think it was Daisy, which was like after that. I was like, and then what was it? Week 2, they went to 97. It was the biggest drop off ever from #1 to 97.
Yeah, that means everybody who wanted it got it.
Yeah, and like it came out of nowhere too.
And
nobody
still being
knew.
in the top 100 is huge.
Yeah, and like it nobody knew it was coming out. Like it just they sent 500 burnt CDs, and then people started ordering it online once it went digital.
Because they knew they would go to people like your cousin and people like that who would then tell everybody else that knew.
No, they get it. They know like how to market in the viral marketing trend. Like I don't know. I think I kind of covered it in the eulogy part before this. I almost think I kind of like I put everything out. All I can say is thanks, and anyone that's a brand new fan, anybody that's been in music and understands what this band did and has done, I think is incredible. I know there's other people out there that are, that are good friends with me that like music, and they probably look at brand new and they're like, okay, like it's all show and like get off your soapbox type of shit.
Honestly, my biggest criticism of brand new, and this is also coming from kind of back to the anime manga thing, is there's not a lot of people who like, well, I don't really watch anime. I watch just this one show.
Yeah.
You're either in or out.
Yeah. But
my only, and it's not even a criticism, it's just I think kind of the, when you're outside the bubble thing of like, there's a lot of brand new that is, there's only one way to put it, like, it's a bit much.
Yeah.
And like, I'm not knocking it, but like that is kind of like the only negative thing I can say about them is like sometimes it's a bit much.
Right. And like the thing is though, is when you really like them, it's not enough. And like, that's all I can counter that with.
Shit.
And so.
That was, like, we weren't arguing, but like.
Yeah.
I still somehow feel like I just got put in my place.
Well, I mean, that's just like kind of how I look at it. I mean, he's just a guy. Like, I literally, like, my entire teenage and formative years were just watching this guy. Like, I think he's incredible. I think the way that he was able to talk about things and like the thing, and I wanted to bring this up. And actually, I'm glad I kind of faltered until this point because this was the point I was trying to make. I started watching videos of him out on tour now, and I'm really upset because they're playing, or they just played Brooklyn, and I didn't go to it, and the CD wasn't out yet. And I don't think I realized at the time, like, no, brand new's pretty sick. You might want to go see them because, like, they might not be here in a couple of months type of thing. I didn't realize that. And it's kind of bothering me. But the thing is I saw him talking about the songs that he did before. And I think somebody in the audience asked him, like, oh, play one of your older songs. Like, I really don't want to play it. And they're like, oh, go ahead and do it. You don't like it anymore. And, like, basically what he brought up was, like, he's actually happy in life. And the reason why is because all of his older songs were all just about like girls and depression and just the anxiety of life and not knowing what your place is or where you're going to fall. And just that scaredness of like, what if it doesn't work out? And then he's like, well, I met my wife. And ever since I met her, he's like, I don't have to worry about dating ever again. I don't ever have to worry about the girl that I'm with if she's going to cheat on me. He's like, I found my soulmate and now she's pregnant and we're about to have our first baby. And now I can play those songs that I used to hate because I didn't like going back to that place. He's like, now I can play them and look at like, I'm never going to be there again. And these depressing songs now just became the most happiest songs I could ever have. And so I get to play them, you get to hear them, and maybe it brings you back to a memory, but just realize like I'm a little bit older than you and that it does all work out. It's all going to work out. And
it's not to interrupt you, just to kind of summarize what I think you're saying is these things feel like with enough time, it just feels so small.
Yeah, no, that's so true. And like there was one song they had, Soco Amaretto Lime. It was the last song on their first album, and it's a very it's just about a song about young kids joining a band and getting out of their town and falling in love with a girl during the summer. And it's just all about being young. And when I saw him back in 2008, right when Daisy was coming out, 2009, he would end that song. The song ends with like, they're just jealous, or you're just jealous because we're young and in love. You're just jealous because we're young and in love. And then he switched it up. He goes, I'm just jealous because you're young and in love. And he ended it with that. And you'd get goosebumps. You'd look at him, and it was just him on stage, and the rest of the band had left. And you're like, wow, like he's upset that like everyone's so young still and he's gotten older. And now to hear him flip to where now he's looking at it, I'm just happy. It seems like he's happy, I guess is kind of it. And it's just kind of good for somebody that kind of like always sees like kind of how he saw life, to see like how he's changed a little bit. It's upside. I don't know. I don't even know where I'm going with it.
I kind of like how it feels like this whole album is his way of almost pushing their fan base to be like, it's okay to let go.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what it is. That's what it is. And like that was the problem, is when Devil and God came out, the reason why he said he was doing it is because he said a lot of people started dying. It was right at the age where he was like in his mid-20s. His grandparents died. Yeah. His aunts and uncles were dying. Kids, random people he knew from high school, get in a car accident, drunk car driving, would die. He's like, we were at the funeral a lot. And especially when you're in Long Island, a small town like that, where there's a lot of people, you know how it is being in Iowa. If somebody dies, the whole town knows. But just imagine every block is the size of your town in Iowa. Like that's kind of what it is. And so when you grow up in a Long Island community like that, like that's what just ends up happening. You just start to, you know, it's over. You have to funeral home more than you're not. And I think that's what kind of like shifted his life. But I'm just happy to see like he corrected it, I guess. And yeah, I mean, it's a 5 out of 5. It's a 5 out of 5 for the band. And I just hope it's not it. And yeah, I'm just gonna leave it with that.
Because it hit something to me personally of something that when I was a kid absolutely infuriated me.
Yeah.
You remember when you were in high school and you were trying to tell your grandparents about your problems?
Yeah. Yeah.
And they would be like, it's okay. You're like, no, you don't understand. He's like being a dick. Like Tommy's being a fucking dick. And they're like,
to you at that moment, it's the most devastating. You don't even know how it's gonna.
It's like he like used a Trojan horse and like destroyed your population.
Yeah, no, it's a huge hit.
When really like he stole your frisbee. Yeah. But like, and your grandparents would almost like not even be able to like pretend to like care. Like not that like almost like they couldn't even like feel that anymore.
Well, no, that's what
small.
That's what it would feel like. It would be like you'd almost get angry at them because it seems like they just don't understand. Like, it's like you guys just don't get it. Like it's different. But I know what you're saying is like.
But then they realize like, you know, they saw their best friends die. Like they've been through times of war and like they've seen some shit. So they're like, well, yeah, it's okay, bud.
Well, not only that, I think what it did though is, and you just brought up a great point and you just made me come to this realization. I'm going to close it off with this. Is in that moment, you are not smart enough to understand why they don't get it.
Yeah.
And they're also not able to go back to where you are at that point of life. But what you can learn from that is that they can bridge it. So basically what I was taking from the whole Jesse Lacey thing was like, it's almost like you're now coherent in knowing that you're no longer in that part of your life.
Yeah.
And that you're still able to make that connection still. It's not so far away where your grandparents can't even like give you the sympathy. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like they almost think like you're being dramatic and then you think they're just dumb because like when they were younger, like, you know, they didn't have a phone, so they don't get what like texting is. Like they don't get like why I'm.
It's more like your dad when like you're 20 and he's 40.
Yeah.
And then like he's like, it'll be fine, kid.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're like, it feels like a pretty big deal, and he's like, I know it does, but it'll be fine.
Yeah. So I guess in a weird way that their moroseness in this album does kind of leave you with a sense of upside of it's gonna be okay.
Yeah. You feeling good? You feeling bad, or you just a lot of feelings?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's just whatever. I'm kind of upset that it is going to be the last thing, but...
I have two options.
What's that?
We can either have another warhead, or I can say something really dumb and we'll end the episode.
Let's see the dumb.
The good news is, if there's no more brand new, there'll be plenty of 303 coming out you can listen to. All right, that does it for this week's episode. My name is Aaron Haig.
I'm John Bryan.
Stay punk. All right, welcome to the end of this week's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed doing it. I know I gave John a really hard time sometimes during this episode, but this is a very good album, and I actually really did enjoy listening to it. I probably wouldn't have if he hadn't pushed me. So this week, we're going to do the music credits really quick. We only have a handful of songs we played. We played 4 songs off of Brand New's 2017 album called Science Fiction. We played Can't Get It Out of Mana, Same Logic, and Batter Up. We also did play a little bit of Locked Out of Heaven by Bruno Mars because we really did kind of go into kind of a really real emotional place. John did especially. So we did actually play a little bit of that to pick us back up. I did put that in the episode. Thank you so much for listening. If you want to help out the show, you can always follow us on Twitter, or you can tell a friend about the show. If you want to tweet at us or reference us, you can always use @PodPunkShow. We retweet a lot. Me and John answer questions, or we'll talk about anything pop punk, emo, hardcore related. So you can get at us on there, and we'll be back next week with another episode. Until then, as always, stay punk.